Recording.
Do we have a local recording?
I'm going to start a local recording right now. Okay. So we have started the live recording. We have started the local recording. I do see my big fat head on YouTube now, so we're going to cue this intro. We have a full house here today for our, what time is it now? It's 9:20. What time does that 9 o'clock episode start?
9:20 Newfoundland.
And Mark, if you could mute the background noise there, that would be wonderful. That'd be great. Yeah. All right. So CoCoTALK After Dark, CoCoTALK episode 55, the CoCo Crew wrap-up show is going live in 3, 2.
Hi, this is Dale Lear, designer of TRS 80 Color Baseball, and you're listening to CoCoTALK.
This is CoCoTALK, the nation's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color computer. With your host, Mr. Gameplay Goodness himself, Stevie Stroh.
All right, and welcome everybody to CoCoTALK episode 55. This is the CoCoFEST wrap-up show. Technically, we're after dark, but this is not an official CoCoTALK after dark, but who cares and who's counting? And let's just go around the room and let's say hi to everyone who's on the call. We've got a jam-packed house. It's 9:22. That 9 o'clock episode's due to start any minute now. So, going around the room, we have with us Michael Rowan. How are you, sir?
Hey, how is everybody?
We are doing just dandy, I believe. We'll find out as we get through this show today. We have the lovely, the talented, the dashing, the debonair, Sir David Ladd. Hello, sir.
Why, thank you, Steve, and I'm glad to be here, and I can't wait to see how this goes for everyone tonight.
Wow.
Cursed it.
Like,
David,
gag
with
me
more
with a
feeling,
spoon.
please.
Yes. Another dog just comes in. Crap. Can somebody let the dog out? I'm doing a live show here. From Canada, we've got Curtis Boyle is in the house. How are you, Curtis?
Good, and a couple of things. First of all, that first 22 minutes before the show officially started was bonus silence content, which I know our favorite troll has been requesting all along. 2, I have to show off the CoCoFEST 2018 t-shirt. And 3, thanks very much to Alan Huffman for bringing up some Jolt Cola.
Excellent. We also have with us legendary game designer, Mr. Rick Adams.
Hello. Hajime mashite. Dozo yoroshiku. Glad to be back from CoCoFEST and back in my workshop.
Excellent. We're glad to have you. Also, recently seen live at CoCoFEST giving a presentation about CoCo as it compares to other systems of the era. From sunny Southern California, Mr. Steve Bjork is with us.
Hey there, how's everybody doing?
We're doing good, sir. Special guest of the show today who has never been with us live on the air before. But welcome, Eric. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
I don't want to screw up your last name, but is it Canales?
That's right, Canales, Eric Canales.
Eric Canales, and we met a year or so ago at CoCoFEST, and
yes,
glad to have you here.
First CoCoFEST and second one this year.
Excellent. The creator or co-creator of the CoCo VGA project, Brendan Donahe, is with us.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the program. From Strongware, maker of fine products, both hardware, software, and printed in the dimension of 3, we have Mr. John Strong with us today.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening to you. Optimizer of the MC10, Mr. James Diffendaffer is here.
How you doing?
We're doing good. We have from Boyle Technology, fixer of Jim Brain's products, Richard Lorbieski is with us here today. We can't hear you, Jim. You're muted, but you look
Oh,
wonderful.
howdy,
Jim,
y'all. Howdy, y'all.
There
we go.
Well, I called you Jim, but you're Richard. That's okay.
Yes, thanks for the insult.
Yes, and our resident Apple guy and all-around decent human being, Mark Overholser, is in the house.
Hey, y'all.
Howdy. As seen at PennFest 99, 2000, and at CoCoFEST 2018, we have Jason the Coco Man here.
Good evening, everybody.
Sorry, I don't know if Mark or Richard was trying to say something before I cut you off. You guys, were you getting ready to chime in with something? All right. Also seen at CoCoFEST this year, creator of the Coco Pie Wire, whatever the hell you want to call it, Mikey is here.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
We're going.
That was the best promo ever, Stevie. I just got to say.
Whatever the hell you want to call it, yes. And last but certainly not least, we have the Timberman himself, Ron Delvaux. Oh. All right. Well, we're here, and we have 17 people in the live chat at the moment. And, yeah, people have been chiming in. So Eric was in the live chat. Tom C is in the live chat. Hey, Tom C. Brendan Donahe is in the live chat. Ken Make It is in the live chat. Solstice, who I now know who Solstice is. That's Salvador Garcia. Hola, Salvador. This is my problem. We have people who we've had this discussion in Discord this week. The concept of handles versus humans. Everybody's got a screen name, and not everybody knows who that screen name is. So Solstice has been joining us forever. I now know that's Salvador. We got to meet Disney Saints fan. I still don't know who Norlander is. We've got somebody who watches all the time. His name is Norlander in the YouTube chat. I don't know who Norlander is, but I always just say, hi, Norlander. So 19 people watching us live. Now, Salvador just chimed back in and said hello. All right, so we're here. What's the topic this week?
The upcoming project?
CoCoFest. It was a pretty slow week, so.
Hey, when is CoCoFest starting anyway?
I don't know.
I thought we were going to do a review of Canadian Kit Kats. That's what I thought we were doing.
There's something I can get behind.
Yeah.
If only there was a website that someone could go to find out where CoCoFest was going to happen. If only maybe a podcast or a weekly live show was perhaps on the air that would mention when CoCoFest was going to happen. Jeez. Yet somehow, someone posted a message in the Glenside Facebook group saying, I thought it was next week! No!
That was Carlton.
Yeah.
Were they kidding?
Between the shows that you have done, Steve, and CoCo podcast and the Glenside side with it up on their calendar and their page and everything else, you really got to be out of it not to know that it was last weekend. I'm sorry.
There you have it.
Maybe their watch was a week slow.
And and Steve Bjork is one who's known to hold his tongue and not speak freely about things. So.
Hey, there's actually a reminder. I wanted to let everybody know if they drove to CoCoFest or they used a car and they went through the toll roads and they didn't pay, that they need to go to that website, Illinois Toll Road, and make sure you pay your toll within 7 days, or you will get fined.
Now, did you say toll or troll?
Toll, T-O-L-L.
Because that would be go for retro if you wanted to pay the troll.
Yes.
Actually, Jim going to pay everybody's tolls if they're late? That would be fun.
Yeah, well, we've got all these Kickstarter things and Patreons and like that. That's another way to generate revenue for the group.
You want to set up a toll at CoCoFest? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I'm just saying is if you forget about it and you think it's a week later, you can make a donation to the Glenside group.
There you go.
Make it payable to the William J. Lepetime.
There. That's an old reference, but a goodie.
So the topic this week is the CoCoFest wrap-up show. I was trying to get my soundboard going. It's just not happening. That's okay. So Jim Brain just trying to send retro innovations. Seems like a normal show then.
Yeah, talking about weird technical problems.
Yes.
Sounds like his booth, but anyway.
So, how about we do this? How about, since we have a new member to the show, we're going to play the game I like to play that's called Let's Put a Stranger on the Spot and ask him to tell us his life story.
And then we never get new people.
So Eric, since you're the first time on the show, would you like to maybe tell us a little bit about your background? What computer systems did you use back in the day, and then what are you using nowadays? What got you to come to CoCoFEST? Things like that.
Oh, sure. Well, all right. So back when I was a kid, my uncle came home with a CoCo. This was like mid-'90s, so this is already way out of date. But I fell in love. Who couldn't fall in love with the CoCo? It was a CoCo 2, had all the books and everything, and my first computer. So I had a lot of fun with that. Went to college for programming for a year, did other things. Went back to college some more, did a lot of work in between. So I've been working in computers ever since I was a kid. And about 2 years ago, I picked up a CoCo 3 for $15 at a thrift store, and just picked up from there. So I've been making plans and learning about the CoCo for the last couple of years, and that's where I'm at now.
There you go. Mm-hmm. And so 2 years ago is when I met you at CoCoFest 25. That was in 2016. So that was your first CoCoFest?
That's right. Yep.
And do you live in Chicago?
I do now, yeah.
Okay. And so how did you find out about CoCoFest, and what kind of got you to want to go out there and check out the show?
Oh, well, I've known about the CoCoFest for a few years. I've been wanting to go, but I haven't lived in the area. But I came back to the area for family, and I knew I'd had to go now, so.
Excellent. Well, we're glad you did, and it was good meeting you then. It was good meeting you this past weekend, and thanks for being here today as we relive those memories. It's like it's so nostalgic. It's almost like it was, I don't know, a week ago.
Well, yeah, it's great to be here, and I look forward to what we can bring to the CoCo to push it forward. So I like the nostalgia, but I like to see where we can take it too.
Yeah, and that's
fusion.
Fusion, yeah, that was the theme.
Yeah.
Fusion. Not only is it a vehicle no longer made by Ford, but it was also the theme of this year's CoCoFest.
Yeah, that's right.
How about we go around the room and everybody in just one or two words summarize what your experience was. And I'll start with John Strong. All right.
Oh, busy.
Busy. Okay. Yeah.
Busy and interesting.
Excellent. And I think we're probably going to hear similar adjectives from Richard Lorbieski, but how was the CoCoFest for you in just a few words, Richard?
Extremely busy. In fact, the third table that I had, which was going to be for my wife, so she could sit around and talk, but she couldn't make it, I set all the units that I was going to repair, like a queue line. And a lot of people thought I was selling those. They were asking me how much for this CoCo 3. And
you could have made a mint.
Yeah, you could have made a mint and just ran off.
I did. I actually did over 30 upgrades.
Nice. Wow. Nice. Doing a great community service.
You fixed my TDP 100.
Yep.
Excellent.
Now, if you could only fix Jim Brain's projects, then you'd be right up there.
Yeah. Actually, I took some of them home. There was four computers that I took home, because I didn't have enough time to get them all done.
Yeah, time seems to be the challenge with these things. What about you, petting the CoCo cat, Mark Overholser? A couple of words summarize CoCoFest for you.
Frantic and very sociable.
There you go. Frantically sociable.
Sociably frantic.
There you go.
Too.
Now, this guy here is a celebrity. He also had an incredible Forest of Doom chalice of I Got Lucky. In a lovely display case, no less.
Yeah, you're still jealous, Stevie. Yes.
Still jealous. You got it, sir.
Display case by Ken make it.
That's it. That's right. Ken did make it. So, how would you describe it, Jason?
I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I sold out of switcheroos by noon on Saturday. So,
awesome.
I had 9 to sell. Demand was high, and I actually took a few orders too that I'll be filling here in the next week or two.
Excellent. And what about you, Mikey?
Hey, well, It was my first CoCoFEST. I think I can actually sum it up in 2 words. This is what I told David Ladd when he asked me about CoCoFEST. I said, I'm home.
I'm home. Hey, Neil Blanchard just joined us in the live chat. Hey, Neil. Ron Delvaux, star of CoCoFEST. How was it for you?
It was wonderful. I brought 2 multi-packs to get fixed. They did. And my TDP 100 had a mod on it that Richard took the mod off, and I got color back on it. And I was the only one that had a working MC10 at the show.
Okay.
And
I noticed Steve Bjork spent a lot of time there in your booth playing with that, too.
In fact, he was very irritating. I had to keep pushing him out of the way.
I think he wrote that 3D demo for it, too, didn't he?
That was Simon.
He wrote that using self-modifying code, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Simon was thrilled that he was able to see his little project that he had been working on for a week.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The show. Yeah, it worked out great.
That is good.
I had a little bit of the garage at the show.
Excellent. Yeah, like 0.00001% of the garage.
Half one shelf.
But we got to meet the Timberman in the flesh, and I enjoyed meeting you, Ron.
Yes. Same here. Everybody. It was great.
And Brendan Donahe, what were a few adjectives you could use to describe it?
Too short.
Too short. I like that. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it was the sort of thing where, you know, I had to rush home and catch a plane, and I mean, I kind of shortchanged, you know, time with Curtis and Glenn Hewlett and a number of folks there at the end. So yeah, I was kind of bummed about that, but certainly that wasn't Glenn's side's fault. That was my fault in my own scheduling.
Yeah, it becomes time management and multitasking and all these, you know, buzzwords that sound good on paper. They're really hard to do in CoCoFEST. It's almost like you're in this alternate reality where space and time just kind of go out the window, and everything you think you're going to do and want to do just don't seem to happen.
Yep.
So yeah, it's and the catchphrase that we use a lot is it's a good problem to have, right? When there's just too much to do, too many people to talk to, definitely a good problem to have.
Yep.
What about you, Eric? How would you describe CoCoFEST in a few short words?
Oh, you know, I thought it was inspiring would be my word. Just seeing all the cool projects and seeing what people are working on makes me feel like I need to get my stuff together and get it done.
Good, I like that. I like that one. Inspiration. And Steve Bjork.
Oh, gee. Very tiring.
Mm-hmm.
But exhilarating.
Okay. Excellent. Rick Adams, legendary game designer.
Lots of fun, lots of new people, new friends, old friends, and on the con side, no sleep.
No sleep, yes.
No sleep to Brooklyn.
What about you, Curtis Boyle?
I'd have to say fun and surprisingly large. That was actually a pleasant surprise. I was expecting to hit about 100. I wasn't expecting to get up to around the 120 mark.
Yeah, man, that was nice. David Ladd, star of the show. How was it for you?
Socially exhilarating, Steve.
Well, we had a lot of
with
fun
more
buffing
feeling.
your head, you know.
And he didn't kill anybody that I know of.
We cleaned off his solar panel and away he went.
Yep.
Oh, yes, it was great fun. And I see Mikey's experimenting with some toy in the background there.
All right.
Come on, this is a family show, David.
Wow, what is this?
Oh.
This looks like... Wow.
That's a null modem cable?
My head is about ready to explode just looking at the...
RS-232, ESP.
Yeah.
all of David's acronyms in one cable.
I believe in certain engineering circles that might be known as a fluster cluck. So yeah, that's pretty cool there, though. So, and last but certainly not least, the lovely and talented Myro. How would you describe CoCoFEST?
It was a blast, and I agree. It was too short. There's so much going on. It just goes by instantly. At the end, you're exhausted, but you're also recharged. It's inspiring.
Yeah, I like that. Inspiration. That's definitely a good one.
And Myra, I just want to ask for next year, like you did a spoof on Ballroom Blitz on the CoCo Crew?
Yeah.
And a couple of us actually learned to play the song, but you guys, I don't think you were actually at the jam session, so next year we can get you in, you can actually sing it.
Okay.
We had a lot of fun going to lunch and laughing.
Yeah. A lot of camaraderie. Lots of camaraderie. And so a couple comments in the live chat was so Grant Leighty says that CoCoFest needs to be like Kansas Fest, like a week long. And then an interesting little anecdote too that Grant threw out. I think it was Friday night. We asked the girl in the lobby, what do you recommend for a pizza place? And she's like, oh, yeah, there's this really good. It's like the best in Chicago. And there's like 9 of us wanting to go to this thing. And this is the best pizza in Chicago. So what was the name of the place they sent us to?
Giordano's or something?
Giordano's, yeah. And so, and so you guys, so we all kind of caravan over there in a couple of different vehicles. And we get there. And then I think we're the last ones to arrive. And then
you were really the last one to arrive.
Yeah. And all I heard was there's no seats available. I'm thinking, what, are they full? Are they full? Are they just, what's the wait like? They're like, no,
take
there's
out
no
only,
seats. There are no seats. You can't sit down in this place. It's literally standing room only. So it was so the first place we go to, we couldn't even dine at. And then we found another brick oven place that we ended up going to. And that was kind of cool how we started the show off. I think there was about 10 of us there, right? Diego was with us, and Ken and Jason, and Auntie M was there, and Toto was there, and
Steve and David, and
and that was neat. That was really thin. I love that thin pizza. I love pizza crust, so it's almost like a cracker, like real thin, because it's like you're not getting stuffed on bread.
Except you didn't eat the crusts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole pile of them you left behind.
There was a whole pizza left behind of crust.
I have a picture of it somewhere.
Yeah. You put it. So, for those who could not make it, number 1, shame on you. But, number 2, there is a huge photo gallery that we've been compiling on Facebook. So, there's a photo album. If you go to the CoCoTALK Facebook group, you can find it there. And anybody who posted a picture, I just shared that picture into this album or whatever it's called, an album or a gallery. So we've got a pretty big compilations of photos that are there to be seen. And then there is no shortage of YouTube content that was also either streamed or uploaded. So on this very channel you're watching us on now, there's lots of CoCoFest content, and there's a little bit more to come. I've got a few more clips I need to put together, and I've got a couple of bonus things. So while there is a lot there's a few more to come, so stay tuned. For example, one of the things I have not uploaded yet is the entire Saturday auction that I got on my portable camera, because the auction was recorded first with my phone. Here I am holding my phone, doing the best I can, at great pain and discomfort. I'm holding up my phone to live stream the auction, and all I get complaints are, oh, that's real shaky. The camera's shaky, and I can't hear it too good, and all this other things. And it actually made me rage quit the live stream. I'm thinking, how ingrateful is that, Nick Marentes?
If you don't like the video, come to the damn show.
Yeah, well, when you're in Australia, I understand. But no excuse, exactly. But
well, the problem too is he is watching it upside down.
Stand on your head next time, Nick. It's better that way.
Yeah, so I actually rage quit that, and a little while later I schlepped the laptop out there to put it up. But I also had a stationary camera, so I do have the entire Saturday auction that I can play as one continuous video. So I have to splice those clips together. I'll put them up. We do have a few things that we're going to be showing for the post credits, and that's why the show took so long. So here's my adjective. I like how you said exhilarating. Who said exhilarating and exhausting? Yeah, so for me, if I had to pick, I would use those words too. Yeah, but yeah, utterly exhausting. Just sleep deprived and lots to do and everything else. And then when I came back, so I flew back Monday, and I think I landed like 4 p.m. Monday. So Monday was pretty much gone. Tuesday was kind of like my Monday, and Tuesday I was basically just jet lagged that whole day. I got nothing done on Tuesday, and then the rest of the week was just like overdrive, blur. This week has been an exhausting week for me, so I'm still kind of exhausted. Yes, so Salvador says it's beautifully chaotic, and full of energy. But yeah, it was exhausting.
Oh, what a wimp! Because I had to drive.
Yeah. So to that note, because my week this week was so hectic, trying to catch up on real work, I had taken a nap before the show. I overslept on the nap, and so I was behind on preparing this special clip I wanted to prepare. So we do have a post-credits bonus clip that we're going to be showing you at the end of the show. After Jim Brain's favorite part, where we have the closing credits, we've got an actual bonus part, and that's what took me the extra 20 minutes to get the show started, so I apologize. But
we're just like a Marvel movie now.
Yeah, just like a real Marvel movie, which I saw. I saw Infinity Wars. No spoilers, but Aquaman dies.
You only wish.
Round.
Yeah, it was good. Go ahead, Curtis.
Oh no, it was me. Actually, one of the biggest highlights that I had at the show was off the show when we went to the Galloping Ghost, which is a video arcade, and get to see Steve Bjork play Zaxxon.
Yeah, neat.
How did he do?
He did okay. Better than me.
Yeah. What I thought was cool too, to that same note, was that he autographed the game for Jacob. Was it Rampage you autographed for Jacob?
I believe so.
And then you were giving Jacob some tips on the game.
And then we went and played the game in the arcade.
Right. And when I say Jacob, I'm talking about Jacob Moore, who is Bruce Moore's son. And honestly, I have to admit, I'm both proud and jealous at the same time, because I couldn't imagine when I was 10 years old, if I got to hang out with Steve Bjork and play in the arcade with Steve Bjork, my head would have exploded. It's just like, that's like a Coco Nuts dream come true. So to literally be 10 years old and hang out with the guy who made video games, it's literally just about the coolest thing. Until you discover girls, right? But
no, he's got a few years, but he got that cartridge, and he says, "Yeah, I'm going to play this with my friends." And I go, "Oh, let me show you a few tricks." And I showed him a few things there. And he goes, "I'm going to have so much fun."
Yeah, right.
It's going to be able to kill him.
Excellent. Yeah.
There's some nice giveaways too, like just getting along with the community thing there. I mean, Jacob got that arcade that Alan had donated that was bought by Steve Stroh, no relation to Stevie Strobridge, that he kind of gave away for free after he bought it on the auction.
Yeah,
and
that was cool.
John Strong, his wife won a copy of Planet Engine, and I asked John quickly, I said, your wife's probably not going to really use that, is she? And he said no. And I said, well, Ron's actually a real live astronomer. I think he would like to see that, so he graciously donated that too.
Neat.
A lot of camaraderie in the community.
Yeah, there's the cool. Apple II. Talk about the auction. I didn't get anything in the auction because the bidding wars quickly escalated, but I ended up getting an Apple IIc, which Ron is showing a picture of right here. So there was a guy on the table right next to me. I believe he's related to Linda and Tony Pedraza. And so he had an Apple IIc with this Zenith green screen monochrome composite monitor. So I purchased that, and Grant brought that back with him because he was driving and I was not. There was no way I was going to fit all that in my suitcase. So yeah, I went to CoCoFEST and brought back an Apple II.
Traitor.
Yeah, Mark Overholser clapping.
If it makes you feel better. If it makes you feel better, I came home with a TI-99 from CoCoFEST.
Oh yeah, that's right, you did.
They're really good doorstops.
Yeah. If the MC10's not tall enough to fit your door, these are fun.
Right. Yeah, the TI-99 has a little bit more weight, and it's a better wedge there too, so it can hold a bigger, heavier door. So.
It's also a lot slower than the MC10.
So people were asking, like, what was your favorite event? What was your favorite speaker? What was your favorite project? And that's a really hard choice to make, right? So I'll just say, obviously, I really enjoyed the CoCo Crew presentation. I really enjoyed Jamie Cho's presentation that I saw, and I didn't get to see everything. And then I really enjoyed Steve Bjork's presentation too. And the thing that we were talking about before, I don't know if we were talking on Discord, but right here in this panel with us, like I'll call this like our inner circle, because we're on this panel every week and we're on Discord almost every day. I feel like we're really spoiled because we get to hear Steve Bjork talk about this stuff every single day. You know what I mean? We get to hear the stories every single day. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. It's a good thing, but we're spoiled by that. Yeah, we're spoiled by this, and you forget that, listen, not everybody's heard this story. You know, and even though I've heard it, you know, for months now, I've been hearing not just that, but things.
One story over and over again. No.
Yeah, no, it's not the same story, but you're hearing all this information. We're kind of spoiled, but I still enjoyed a lot. I still took a few things away from it, and I'm really glad other people got to hear it too, because you forget. We're kind of like on the inside lane to a lot of information with projects. We know about a lot of people's projects ahead of time before they're public, so you kind of forget. So it's like, for me to say what was my favorite, I would say probably 80% of the things that are going on, I kind of already know, and I'm not bragging, but, you know, so you kind of, you're a little bit almost insensitive to it, because it's like the 8-slot multi-pack that Jim Brain has, and all these other projects, his super quad dodecaphonic serial board, and everybody's got these cool projects, but, you know, because we know about them in advance, you kind of forget that, yeah, this is really cool. I forgot this is still cool, you know. But so there were a lot of neat things. But what do you guys think? What were some of the takeaways that you guys really enjoyed from the fest this weekend?
Just that there's a lot of you know, enthusiasm for both hardware and software. I mean, I think we've mentioned this before, but this initial particular, even, you know, compared to the previous couple of years we've been going. There's a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of new projects. Like, there's more and more new stuff. Like, it's accelerating. It's not staying the same pace. It's not slowing down. It's actually accelerating. And other projects, like Brendan's, for example, he's adding new features too. And, you know, so even existing projects are getting expanded on. So the enthusiasm and the going forward, I guess, is what is really impressing me. Like, we're not resting on our laurels whatsoever here, but everything's just plowing forward.
Yeah. Neat.
Look at Mark's keyboard.
Yep, that was really neat. I got to beat on that. It feels good.
Yeah,
that sounded so bad.
It's a good mix between a IBM clicky keyboard and the CoCo. I plan on buying one.
Yeah, it's neat. So Ken says he liked Steve's haunt stuff. That was neat hearing the talking heads, the music and the talking skulls and everything.
Yeah, I did not have my 6 MP3 player sound card working yet that I could bring to the show, but I figure I'd bring those guys along, because the most interesting fact is they're all programmed in BASIC.
Yeah, that is neat.
Very cool.
Yeah, I wish I had more time to stop by all the booths. So that was one problem. Like, the whole point of me promoting or coming up with that booth tour thing at the beginning was I was hoping that all the vendors would basically not man their booths and actually would just tour around and see everybody else's stuff. Because once the show is fully going, nobody has time, especially if you're manning your own booth. But I noticed a few people just stuck by their booths. I think some people came late too, so that they had no time to set up. But Steve, I didn't get a chance to talk to him. Brendan had mentioned earlier too. I didn't get a chance to talk to them as much as I would have liked. But that's a good problem to have, having too much to see rather than not enough.
Yeah. I know we had talked about for weeks and for days and hours up to the event, we got to get a group photo. We got to get all of CoCoTALK together and do a group photo. We need to get all of CoCoTALK together and do a group CoCoTALK, a live CoCoTALK where we're actually all live in the same room. And these are all the things we wanted to do and talked about doing and planning on doing, and none of it happened. So.
Well, in 10 years, this will be a 7-day event, right?
And that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. At your place, Ron.
Yeah.
So Salvador is saying, I found it interesting that there were numerous talks about CoCo development. Very true. Jim Forth talking about programming in Forth. Jim O'Keefe talking about programming in Forth. Jamie Cho talking about developing with the Dino Sprites and the CMOC and the Docker thing. What was the other development talk?
John Strong had a bit on his.
John Strong, yes, Strong. Yeah, so there were a few I did not attend, but I did record them all. Like the lightning talks, I didn't hear the lightning talks. I actually just listened to it recently as I was playing back on YouTube, and I missed a few things. Like I completely missed that Brendan Donahe showed off the changing of the fonts in CoCo VGA. Completely missed that. I just saw it on the lightning talk. I thought that was so cool. I was going through these scan lines. He plugged in the actual CoCo to the VGA to the projector, so we saw the CoCo VGA being directly projected, and on a scan line basis, the character set is changing as it's going up and down. And he even had like a Space Invader character. So as we've been talking about, wouldn't it be cool to get tile set based graphics as characters where we could rapidly put them on screen? Well, Brendan has done that. So
and that's perfect for porting your game that you did on the PC originally on the Tandy 1000. That'd be a perfect project to do it with.
On the CoCo VGA.
Yep.
But see, the only downside to that becomes you write a game for the CoCo VGA, the only people that can use it are listen, if the game was that good, it would be the killer app that would sell the software.
Exactly.
Damn it, I got to get that CoCo VGA now to play that crappy game Steve made.
But you were talking about you're going to do several versions of it anyway, so that could be like a bonus one.
Yeah, that'd be true.
Because with reprogrammable character sets, you can get it looking as good, if not better, than the Tandy 1000 version.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That's an effective resolution of 512 by 384. So I'll be happy to help you with that, Stevie, if you need help.
Okay.
Now, the real kicker, though, is talking about options. You got a lot of options for sound now.
Yes. I bought one. Let me show you guys that. So I'll show you few of my spoils. So I'm going to switch to a full cam real quick. And I'm hopefully going to get this assembled tomorrow. So I bought the Game Master cartridge, but this is the kit. And because this is a hardware project, I'm not saying this is a CoCo project, but it is. This is the John Linville Game Master cartridge, and I got the ROM for it too, the demo ROM that plays that. From Myro, I got the Super Pack. So this is the injection molded cartridge that the Game Master will go in. And then from Cloud9, I got a PAL chip to upgrade my other multi-pack. I got somewhere else, I can't find it, but this is John Strong's 3D printed case for CoCo Flash. And I bought the CoCo Flash. I can't find that. Sorry to cut you off, Steve, but yeah, you just made me think of that.
Oh,
there's lots of sound coming around, and I'll let you finish that. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just I've talked to Nick, and we've definitely got a few sound systems we're going to support, and it's going to be interesting what's happening. So we're going to go from a desert sound, where there's virtually nothing, to being able to be better than what most of the other systems had at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we have too many oases to choose from.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It also becomes another good problem to have lots of sound choices.
I'm waiting for that ultimate game that's going to use all of them simultaneously for a symphonic 16 voice at once with digitized sound.
That'll sell the eight slot multi-packs really well.
Yeah, it'll be like a Hollywood movie, theme song or something.
John Williams, surround.
CoCo Infinity War. That's what it's going to be.
Salvador says, I also got 2 pounds of screwdrivers from Mark Overholser. That was good. Bruce Moore just joined us. Yeah. How are you, Bruce?
Pretty good.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah. Yeah, we started later than our late time tonight. I started about 9:20, so we're not too far into the show. We've only been on a little over half hour right now.
Oh, right on.
So we did a quick lightning round, asking everybody to use 1 or 2 words to describe CoCoFEST. What would those be for you, Bruce?
1 or 2 words?
Yeah, just to explain CoCoFEST with a few adjectives.
Oh, tiring. But that's a common theme. And too short.
Yeah. I think we all echo that. So
yeah, I've definitely decided I'm flying in on Thursday instead of Friday.
Oh wow. Well,
I like to do Galloping Ghosts when I'm awake.
Yeah. Yeah, I regret not being able to join you guys, but by the time Sunday came around, I had a wicked headache, and I just wasn't hanging. But for me to say, no, I can't go to an arcade, I got to not be feeling good. So,
yeah, same with me, too, because I had been sloughing off work that had been coming in from my drive up and over the weekend, and I just couldn't put it off anymore because I had to leave town for the meeting the next day, so I had to skip it, too. Really wish I could have went.
For the folks that don't know, this arcade has 750 machines going all the way back to the 70s.
Yeah.
And you pay your $20, you walk in, and you can play as much as you want that day. You can come back and keep playing. Just hang on to your receipt.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to be more awake, though. I have to share that sentiment. It would have been more fun if I would have been more awake.
Mm-hmm. I found definitely a few classics I like that I haven't seen in a while, like Crazy Climber.
Oh, yeah.
They had a Pouillon.
Yeah.
They also had a Moon Shuttle, which was on the CoCo also.
Yeah,
one of your ports.
I've never seen Moon Shuttle in the wild. Matter of fact, the only time I ever saw Moon Shuttle was on the CoCo. So,
yeah.
Did they have Space Dungeon? That was one of my favorites when I was young.
Yep.
I saw quite a few games I never heard of before. There was
Mm-hmm.
one called Timber. There was this guy that kind of looked like Ron Delvaux, and he chopped down trees, and you had to make sure they didn't fall on you, or you had to knock them over. It was that was like the same
that was
guy
a
from Tapper.
Valley game.
Yep.
Yeah, they had Berserk, and then they had Star Castle, but Star Castle wasn't running. And I was kind of
that's too bad. That's an awesome game.
Yeah.
But they did have Ripoff, which I think would be a good multi-color computer game. Yeah, it's just basically you got these little objects in the center of the screen, and the computer-controlled ships come in and steal them. Well, you do a multiplayer where the computer-controlled ships are other CoCos, and you could do this even online.
Overholser likes that idea.
Yeah.
I'm imagining David Ladd will too, except you can't see him because he's not.
I'll put that on my list. What's the name of the game?
Ripoff.
What was it again?
Ripoff.
Ripoff.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a ripoff.
It's a vector graphics game.
Okay. I tell you what, guys, I do need to take a quick bio break and also grab a cold beer. So we've been at this for 41 minutes now. So don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to run a couple commercials. I'm going to run maybe 2 or 3 commercials. Give us all about a minute and a half, and then we'll be back. I'm going to mute Skype so you guys won't be coming through over the commercials, and we'll continue this fascinating CoCoFest wrap-up show in just a couple minutes.
Show.
Hey, have you got your CoCo 3 yet? Hi, this is Rick Adams, author of Temple of Ram and Shanghai, and you've tuned into CoCoTALK, the nation's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy color computer.
What's going on, everybody? Original Gamer Stevie Stroh here, and if you're a fan of vintage computing and retro gaming, then you're going to love our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com. There you will find custom designs by Instagram artist Joel M. Adams. You can get I'm a Coconut, CoCoTALK, and other cool video game images on a t-shirt, coffee mug, or mouse pad. So if you love retro, then head on over to the retro swag shop at 8bit256.com today. Tell them the Original Gamer Stevie Stroh sent you.
what's going on, everybody? It's me. It's Original Gamer Stevie Stroh. You know, gameplay. To get your copy of a Gameplay Goodness Color Computer Gaming DVD today, head on over to 8bit256.com. There you will find several DVDs featuring color computer gameplay videos by the Original Gamer Stevie Stroh. So to get your very own copy of a Gameplay Goodness Color Computer Gaming DVD, head on over to the Retro Swag Shop at 8bit256.com and tell them the Original Gamer Stevie Stroh sent you. Tell them that Original Gamer Stevie Stroh sent you, why don't you? That guy is obnoxious. We're coming back. Bruce Moore is here. There was something else I wanted to show you guys if I could find it. I found one of them. I think a few of us are still on our bio breaks, too. Yes. So here they are. I'm going to show these off. I'm going to bring the camera in full screen in just a second here, as soon as I whip these things out here. Hold on one second.
Jason.
I'm just anticipating this.
Yeah.
All right.
I just think he's trying to outcreep David Ladd.
Yeah. All right. So check this out. I've got not one, not two, but three of these. Now this is the insert from my new DVD. And I basically got as many people at CoCoFEST who would autograph these as possible to autograph them. And so not only is it the people from CoCoTALK or CoCo Crew or anything else and all the celebrities and legends and icons, it's everybody who was at CoCoFEST. So these are true memorabilia. This is personally hand autographed by lots of people. I'm going to see if I can even read off some of the names here. But so David Ladd is here, and Myro is here, Ron Delvaux, Jason Cocoman Reichard, and L. Curtis Boyle, and D. Bruce Moore, and Jacob Moore is on here, Rick Adams on here, John Strong is on here, Ken Reichard is on here. Somebody wrote their name backwards. I can't even read it. Stevie Stroh's on here. John W. Linville's on here. Wally Grossman is on here. I mean, just lots of people. I can't read all of the signatures, but there's a lot. I'm pretty sure Steve Bjork, you signed these too somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So I have three of these left that are physical. One of them I'm going to keep for myself because I am a whore. And then two of these I'm going to send off to Australia. I'm going to send one to Brian Joyce, who made the best of episodes. I'm going to send one to Nick Marentes because he trolled my shaky cam. But
are you setting them upside down?
Yes. But before I do any of that, what I'm going to do to all three of these is I'm going to do a high-resolution scan of them. And then I'm going to reissue my DVDs. So the Best of CoCoFEST DVD, the Best of CoCoTALK DVDs that were released for CoCoFEST, there's going to be a new edition that will have a high-resolution scan of the autographs. So these will be a special CoCoFEST autographed edition of the DVDs, and because I now also have some bonus content that we've recorded from CoCoFEST, I'll squeeze. There's not much room left on the DVDs, but I'll squeeze 1 to 2 minutes of bonus content on each one of these two. So these will be special edition, personally autographed bonus content CoCoFEST editions of my Best of CoCoTALK DVDs. So I think that will be hopefully interesting and value added, and people will enjoy that, right? So that was kind of my brainstorm.
Sounds good.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
One of the CoCoFest, I'm trying to remember which one it was. We actually, the show shirt was a signable T-shirt. Everybody went around signing. I think that was one of the Atlanta Fests.
Yeah.
And but that was a cool concept.
Yeah. And a year or two ago too, the poster they auctioned off the poster from the show, and then everybody from the fest autographed those posters too. So the people who got those giant poster boards on the last day of CoCoFEST, they got a cool keepsake too.
Yeah, I have
one.
Yeah,
Steve. Tony Pedraza is the one that wrote his name backwards.
Oh, that was Tony Pedraza.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the president of Glenside.
Yep.
So there you go. So yeah, they're chock full of autographs, and since they were all autographed by different people at different times, and none of them are the same, the autographs you're going to get on Volume 1 of the Best Of will be in a slightly different place on Volume 2 of the Best Of. So I'm going to have two different prints. Two of the three prints will make their way to the best of volume 1s and volumes 2. So I think that's just I think it's neat. Who knows?
It's neat.
Yeah. Another note that when I was doing the group photo that I sold at the fest, and we did one a 13 by 19 each time I did that, and allowed people to sign it. And the 13 by 19 print was auctioned off at the last day on the auction.
We've just been trolled by Troll Jr. Richard Lorbieski says the best of anything from CoCoTALK is about 5 minutes.
And I'm going to interrupt here real quick because I've got to get off and work on some projects.
All right.
I have Jim Brain's expander. I'm working on designing a case for that here.
Okay, that's the 8-port multi-pack, right?
Right, and then Ed Snyder's board came in. It's not populated, just the hardware, so I can do the case, the connectors.
Oh, okay.
It came in this week for me.
Okay.
And so I've got two case projects here to work on.
That's cool.
And if I listen to CoCoTALK and do that, I won't get those worked on. So.
All right. Well,
I'm going to jump off here and tell you guys have a great night.
Hey, John, there's one other thing you need to design. That's a return envelope for Jim Brain.
Also, John, I enjoyed our talk we had.
Thank you.
It was great.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're one of the many people I didn't get to spend enough time with this weekend, John Strong, but it was great to see you in whatever limited capacity it was.
Okay. Like I said, hate to have to jump off, but if I don't get to the project.
No, you're doing.
There's no CoCoFEST blues here. I'm too busy.
There you go. You're doing the Lord's work by making 3D printed cases. So God bless you and amen.
Later, John.
The Lord wants us to have more multi-packs. And the Lord said, we need 8 slots. And the Lord said, we need 19 serial ports. And the Lord said, we need 8 sound chips. Can I get an amen? So,
amen.
Oh, amen.
Hallelujah.
Remember, that 8-port multi-pack has an option so you can do 16.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's an amazing piece of equipment.
I think David Ladd's going to fill out all serial ports.
Yep. Yeah, he's going to get
16 of them.
16 quad serial ports.
Yeah. Just call it 8 is not enough. MPI.
All you need now is like a 9-foot wide desk for all your multi-packs plugged into multi-packs.
And a landing permit.
Yeah, right.
If we're not careful, it's going to look like a TI with all their packs plugged in.
Yeah. Or the thing that's all out the back.
When you turn it on, the lights are going to dim.
Oh, and by the way, Bill Noble's here. Hey, Bill, how are you?
Oh, pretty good.
How's it going, eh?
Oh, it's going good.
Did you get a chance to catch any of the live coverage from CoCoFEST this past weekend?
Most of it, yeah. Not all of it, but I've actually been going through the recaps on the site. So.
And Bill, when you get a chance to pop by, there's some stuff here for you.
I know.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. The Matchbox CoCo. Look at that. That's a cool looking case.
Yeah.
It really is.
What did you think of it?
Well, I wasn't there. That was the bad part.
Well, you got to see some, though.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, the stream was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully next year, because, Bill has been at them before back at Rainbow Fest days.
We got at least two people not completely happy with the streams. We had at least one person complaining about the shaky cam, and then another person saying, what? Yeah, what? And then there was another one saying, "Hey, what happened? And after 6 minutes, the picture went dark, and I can't see this and whatever." And sometimes you just want to reach through the screen and just strangle somebody.
Yeah, tell Nick, please turn your screen back on.
It's not Warner Brothers.
There is an easy solution. If they really don't like what you're doing, just don't do it anymore.
Yeah, or just come to CoCoFEST. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have decided that that just for convenience sake, I am not going to try to do as much streaming, but more pre-recording. And it's just logistically easier. It's technologically easier. If you just put a camera on a tripod and just leave it there, I don't have to babysit it. And then you just load it later. It's a convenience for people to see it live. It's a convenience for them.
That's so convenient for you.
Yeah. It's not a convenience for all the time. And this year, too, was even more challenging because I had the laptop set up in the speaking room, but then I had to move it to the auction room. So I didn't have to, but I did. So anyway, so we'll figure it out. These are all lessons learned. So Myro, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
I know it's still early, but since now we're not done talking about CoCoFEST, but our next gathering is going to be Tandy Assembly. Are there maybe some takeaways you got from this year? I think there were some improvements by having less presentations. I actually think that was an asset, not a liability. And have you guys thought about that, or will any of that be factored into how you schedule the spacing and the scheduling and things like that?
Yes, we already took that away from last year. That was what we found too, is there's just too many presentations. So there will be fewer this year. And incidentally, it's 195 days until Tandy Assembly.
Wow. Yeah, so I think the fact that there were less presentations this year at CoCoFEST. There were a few less, and they were a little bit better spaced out, and I think that helped people get more done. But it just seems like that good problem to have is there's just too much to do no matter how you try to slice it. Yeah. I am in favor of having less presentations and more exhibit area. And if anything else, the presentation room can just be a hangout room too, or something. I don't know. And again, but that's just my 2 cents. I think it's a good problem to have when you've got back-to-back, headline speakers like you had last year. But I also think what we're all taking away from this is we still didn't get a chance to hang out as much as we would have liked to have. And so honestly, I would like to do, I know it sounds really pie in the sky, but I would love to host a hangout fest sometime where, let's just actually literally just hang out. Let's not speak about anything. Let's not present anything. Let's do the part that we never get to do at CoCoFEST and Tandy Assembly, just hang out and talk, So
one thing I wanted to ask, the lightning round, I like that idea because then you can have maybe one each day or something like that. So instead of having all these longer presentations, just do the quick,
true,
to the nuts
true.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
How did people respond to that? I mean, I gave a quick one just impromptu, but how did people like that versus having the longer presentation? I mean, some of them obviously needed a longer presentation, but
I caught the last half of the lightning talks, and I'd wished I'd caught the whole thing because it was like you can get a lot of stuff covered real quick.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, then I need to go to that guy's booth and talk to him about yada, yada, yada,
Yeah.
It made a lot of sense to me.
Okay, because if we wanted to cut the presentations down a little bit more even to get people more time to talk on the show floor and visit booths, then maybe having one or two a day each day might be a better route than all these presentations.
Yeah.
Like the ones that don't need the time, obviously.
Although I had the third position in the trivia game, that was fun.
The trivia game was fun. Yes, it was. Well, Myro, it was great to see you. It was great to see the CoCo crew. I really enjoyed your live CoCo crew roundtable. I thought that was good.
Was good.
Yeah. And, I enjoyed it all. Again, I didn't get to see it all. I didn't get to see Lightning Talks until like a day or so ago when I watched it on YouTube. I missed that completely. So...
Yeah, there's several I missed too, like some of the longer presentations that I had to catch on the videos you uploaded. So,
yeah,
but that's every year.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're an exhibitor or a vendor, then you've really got your time. That's the reason I proposed that original, booth tour, which I was hoping the vendors themselves would actually get a chance to do it. But some people didn't get there till really late, like Alan Huffman. So, nothing about that.
Right.
Richard had his head down. He was smoking his fingers off, man.
Yeah.
Away.
Yeah. So what did you guys think about meeting Ron Delvaux in person?
Scary.
Asked him to come down to my place and chop some trees down the yard, but he refused.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You promised we wouldn't have to talk about it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed hanging out with all you guys. I remember I asked the question, do you think we would have off-screen chemistry the same as we have with our on-screen chemistry? Would we click and would we gel in person? And I think it just happened instantly.
Absolutely.
When we all met, you know.
Yep.
Everybody was just like they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty soon, better for worse.
Just remember, like I said, I'm home with my buddies. I'm home.
Yeah.
Indeed,
You're in a
and
safe
none of us
place.
tried to kill each other.
Yeah, it was cool. It was
And
cool.
I gave David plenty of reasons to kill me, so it was.
Oh yeah, so I don't know if anybody saw this, but it's on Coco Man's channel. I don't know, Coco Man, if you want to put a link to your channel. Did you do that already? Because
it's in the chat, or you can just go to my blog at cocoman.org. It's there also.
There you go. So I did a walk around Sunday where I'm just having my phone and I'm walking around the exhibit areas, just saying hi to everybody. And we were in 2 rooms this year, and so Jason's behind me doing a live stream. It's the live stream of Steve doing a live stream. And I think Ken was doing one too at some point in time. Or Ken was watching the stream, one of our streams, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
so
I think he was watching.
So we had this kind of like live stream Inception caravan thing going on. And it's kind of funny to watch because I ended up watching Jason's version of it, and it was really entertaining. So it was a 14-minute running gag.
You were saying you liked the shots of the back of your head. Something you don't see every day, right?
We got a couple of good shots at the top of David Ladd's head, too, by request. Nick Marentes kept saying, lift the camera up so I can see the top of David Ladd's head. He's such a troublemaker.
That's just wrong. That's wrong.
I don't know what it was, but Nick was obsessed with the top of your head, David. He kept asking for it.
I did have a little problem with the show. Was the fact that I had to keep looking up to everybody. I guess I was the shortest one there, except for your son.
Bruce, you were not on before, so maybe we can get your. Where did you go, Bruce? I lost your video.
I'm here.
Yeah, I can see him.
Hold on. Okay, there you are. So, I was commenting before, which I think was really cool. So, the fact that Steve Bjork got to autograph the cartridge for Jacob of Rampage, and then he gave Jacob some tips on how to play Rampage, and then you guys all went to the arcade and played Rampage in the arcade. Yeah. So, my head is exploding just thinking about it, and I just know if I was 10 years old and I got to hang out with a video game designing rock star back then or now, how cool would that be? And he literally is 10 years old and got to hang out with a video game designer. I mean, that's a once-in-a-lifetime type thing, right? So is he still blown away from it?
Oh, yeah. He was playing, let's see, he started playing, he's playing Rampage yesterday, and I said, okay, well, just go to bed when you die. And it's like what? He's still playing. It's like, where are you? And he's like, I'm at 2 million. I'm not dead yet, but I had to send him up. And this morning he says he almost got to 4 million, so he's using all the tips and tricks from this guy over here,
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for you,
Bruce. It all down.
You got to play it on the CoCo. You guys went to the arcade. You got to play it in the actual arcade version. Did you complete the trifecta and actually see the movie yet?
No, not the movie yet.
I saw the movie.
Hey, yes, that's right.
I saw the Rampage movie, and I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. And it's something about I still call him The Rock, but technically he's Dwayne Johnson, right? He's one of these guys who you don't want to like him, right? It's like, this guy's a douchebag. He's just a good-looking muscle guy. He's a billionaire. Why is he in every friggin' movie? Come on, and everything else. But then you watch the movies, and they're friggin' good. You know what I mean? He's just that good. So it was an amazing movie. I was really concerned, how are they going to do this? How are they going to pull it off? How are they going to make the video game into a movie? And how is this movie going to be believable? If you can believe that there's a 400-foot gorilla, if you can believe that, you can believe anything. But they did it in a really cool way. And they really paid homage to the game without it being crowbarred. There was no shoehorn crowbar things in here, but there were just nods to the game, including having the actual arcade cabinet in the background in one of the offices somewhere. So there were lots of nods to the game, but it was an incredible summer blockbuster action movie. And visual effects were good. The action was good. The story was cool. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, Negan is in it, and he was really good too. So, I liked it. I really enjoyed it. So I would highly recommend seeing Rampage. Also saw Infinity War Thursday night. Highly recommend seeing Infinity War.
And do not see Infinity War. Spoilers. Just watch the spoilers. Don't even go to a review. Just go see the film.
Yeah, just see the movie. Yeah,
and make sure you stay past the credits, like every Marvel movie.
Right.
Oh, you definitely want to see the end credit, and that's all the spoiler I'm going to do.
Yeah. So because it's a Marvel movie, it's not a spoiler saying there's a post-credits scene. So we'll just leave it at that.
Well, heck, you're going to want to see our post-credits.
We have. Well, I would actually say our post-credits today is going to be on par with a Marvel film.
Right.
I will go ahead and say that.
Is it?
Yeah. So I do want to show off one thing that I did receive, and I want to frame it as, I'm not trying to do this as a bragging point, because when it comes to certain things, it's like, there was a lot of, I hate to use the word controversy, but when the topic of the award ceremony came up and John Linville put together the poll and everything, we tried to be as diplomatic as possible, and we tried to make it as fair and rounded and balanced as possible within the context of who's attending. But there are certain topics when you sit here and say, what was the best new game of the year? I mean, we had a lot of great new games. How do you pick the best? And by saying one is the best, are you saying the other one's not as best? So it's really, I struggle with these things because, listen, I liked them all. I love Timberman. I love Bomb Threat. I love all these games. I can't say one is Forest of Doom. You know what I mean? So you can't say one is better than the other. They're all kind of good.
Certain people like certain genres of games, so they may not like an adventure game, or like an arcade game, or vice versa.
So to have to pick one, I find it's, number one, tough to do. Number two, I also find by saying one is the best, you're also saying, well, everybody else is not the best, and it's not true, and it's not fair. So there's no easy way to do this. It's Sophie's choice, right? So, but what I would, and the only reason why I want to bring it up is because I want to bring it up as a thank you, not to say that I am the best, because I'm not, or anybody else is any less best or less effective. But I do want to say this as a thank you, simply because it was voted on by the community. So for the topic of most effective community promoter, that award was given to me, and I humbly and gracefully accept this because the people voted for this, and I do appreciate the fact that you did. So I want to say thank you for doing that, and it means a lot to me. But I also want to say, this is not a contest, and in my opinion, I don't think I did any better or worse job than the CoCo crew did, or anyone else for that matter. And so we're not doing this for fortune or glory or fame. We're not doing this for anything. But I just want to say thank you for those who voted for me. But when it comes to promoting the community, the prize is us, right? The prize is that our community gets better and gets stronger. And when we say, why did we go to CoCoFEST? Did we go for the CoCo? Did we go to hear this person speak? Did we go to see this product? I went to CoCoFEST to see everybody at CoCoFEST. I went to CoCoFEST for the people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're welcome for me stuffing the ballot box. I made a bunch of fake Facebook accounts to vote for it. I'm glad it worked. The virtual ballot box.
Yeah. I wanted to say that Bruce's setup looked great. And I sat there, and I'm even on tape being seen listening to CoCo. What was
CoCo Forever. CoCo Forever.
Yes, it was awesome. In fact, Steve, your part in there was great.
Thanks. Let me see if I can find that, and we'll play that little clip right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, Bruce, I never did get a chance to hear the episode.
So, Stevie, where's the $50 you promised everybody that voted for you?
Checks in the mail.
That money will come out of all the refunds that Jim Brain has to issue. So
we're going to be rich.
Yeah. All right. So let's run that teaser right now. Let's run on the CoCo Forever teaser.
Oh, okay.
Imagine a different world. A world where Tandy Corporation has the upper hand. Where the CoCo surpassed all competitors. And all you have to do is travel back in time without making a single mistake.
CoCo Forever.
You definitely earned this office.
Yes, you're too kind, and thank you.
You want to grab some food before we head back and look at that Alt Reality OS9 module?
It's only 40 years past due, but yeah, sure.
How does it feel? I'm still believing.
There we go. Teaser number 2 for CoCo Forever. Who got to listen to CoCo Forever?
I did. It was awesome.
I did.
Yeah. I mean, I recorded a few things with Bruce, but I had no idea what it was going to sound like or how it was, what the story was or anything else. We did it. Bruce had some ideas. He had kind of like a rough outline. We brainstormed a little bit, but almost everything was ad lib. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I don't know. I think I've only mentioned this once or twice. I think I mentioned this on the CoCo crew when I did the interview, because when at the end of their interview, it's like, well, what haven't we asked you, or what haven't you told us? It's the famous closing line on a CoCo crew interview. And I had told them that years ago I did live stand-up comedy, so I had spent like 6 years being a semi-professional road touring comedian, and in the process of doing that, I had been asked to audition for a few things, and and I'm used to doing everything pretty much like live without a net. I don't believe in rehearsing, and I like things to be spontaneous. And so I auditioned for a role in an independent production. And what I didn't realize is when you go to audition, you're supposed to like have those lines memorized, things like that. I'm not an actor. I didn't know. And I auditioned for something. I figured, shit, I'll just show up and I'll wing it. That's what I do. I'm a winger, And I just tried to wing my audition, and of course didn't get it because you're supposed to know the scenes, and I guess you had to know how to act too and stuff like that. But so I screwed that audition, but they still liked me and they gave me a speaking extra part. And again, I had script. And I had to memorize something, and I couldn't memorize it. And we ended up ad-libbing a bunch of that too. And I never saw it, but I was so nervous and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, I'm not good at reading a script or memorizing anything. But I like what we did, Bruce. I thought it was fun, and I think the package you produced was really well done. And I think another kind of innovative thing, right? So I think the category was, one of the categories not only was what was your favorite game, but what was an innovative way to release a game. And honestly, a ROM pack is extremely innovative, but I don't know that the ROM pack was new for this year, because the ROM pack has now been out for a couple of years. So I think the main two choices were...
Do you mean the SD card? Because the ROM pack's been out forever, right?
Well, I'm talking about new ROM packs, right? Because like how John Linville has the ROM packs and John Strong has ROM packs, so that's like a new way to distribute, but that's not new for this year.
Right.
So I think the two choices were Forest of Doom, which came on a book, and Timberman, which came on SD card. And I know Paul Thayer won for Timberman for one of the categories. Maybe it was the creative way to do it. But I do like what you did with the book. It's really neat because it's tangible. Thanks. And it's creative. It's definitely innovative. Where you've the game itself is kind of unique now because I liked text adventures. I started on text adventures before I got into arcade games, but I was never into RPGs. So I never played any RPG on the CoCo before. So if there are good RPGs out there, I'm sorry, but I never saw them and never played them. So Forest of Doom was the first CoCo RPG I ever played. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
And you finally won.
I finally won. That's right. So I won on level 1. Level 2 is bullshit. I'm calling shenanigans on level 2. But yeah, no. So I like that. I like Paul Thayer. So it's neat. Like somebody mentioned earlier, inspiration. We're inspiring each other. I think now between you producing that book with the audio soundtrack, which is clever too, and now this CoCo Forever. It's an episodic audio drama for the CoCo.
It's different.
And we've already got audio drama between the CoCo crew and CoCoTALK. So now we've got... So now Myro's here. So It was funny because listen, we're live. We're just trying to have fun, and I made a comment like one time. We're like, "Oh yeah, we're looking at the schedule. Like, oh, the CoCo crew's gonna be live. Let's troll them, right?" So, and some people must have thought that there were some animosities between us, but
there totally is. But we're not going to admit that. In
public. No, we went to their houses and toilet papered them. So.
Yeah, Sunday when they did their live thing or whatever, it was fun just trolling them, heckling them. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
I got to troll Boise from the outside. I was making faces at him, and he kept pointing at me.
So that's who he's pointing at off camera. Okay.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, actually, I was just sitting there with my arms folded, looking just like him, and he saw me do that.
So Myro's here. Myro can hopefully attest to the people who don't know that we're having good-spirited fun here. There is no bad blood between our shows, right, Myro?
There is not.
Are you sure about that? Sure about that?
Steve was going to ask you if you detested, not attest.
Make it so.
We hold the CoCo in high esteem. I mean, they are the trailblazers here.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here without them, as we've said before.
It's true.
And most of us wouldn't have come to CoCoFEST for the first time.
But you have to remember that when something comes later, it's usually because they're trying to improve on the formula of the first thing.
I don't know if I don't know. I'm not.
This is
refuse comment. Or I refuse to comment there. But yeah,
we're offering something different.
And I've had 2 beers, so don't get me started. So,
well, the way I look at it is now, there's choices and and a variety, and when you have more of that, it means that the community can grow. So that's the way I look at it.
And that's true with hardware too, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's all for the community, and the result of that is 117 people at CoCoFEST. So
yeah.
And I think most of us listen to both shows. It's not like one picks one or the other.
Yeah,
we do.
But it's kind of cool. There are camps. There is Camp CoCo Crew. There's Camp CoCoTALK, and that's okay. You can be a camp, and I'm
Camp Troll. Don't forget Camp Troll.
Yeah, Camp Troll, right? So, and it's great. And listen, I respect all the shows. I respect all the people. I like that there is variety. I listen to the CoCo Crew. I'll go on record to say I'm the biggest fan. I've been the biggest fan since I started. It's a great show, and I think we complement that, and I think we supplement each other pretty well. And as a matter of fact, John Linville was trying to brainstorm with us when we were sitting in the lobby, like what could we do to do some crossover stuff and things. Oh, by the way, Myro, so John Linville was saying, who's the next person that maybe we should interview from CoCoTALK. I would like to nominate Ron Delvaux. I think a Ron Delvaux exclusive on CoCo Crew would be kind of cool.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Can ask all the hard-hitting questions that we're too afraid to ask here.
Yeah, like what size of an axe do you have?
Why are you a user and not a programmer?
What do you trim your beard with?
Yeah.
What's the address of your house so we can go visit? And when you're not there,
yeah. When do you take long vacations?
Do you get your flannel.
What's the alarm deactivation code?
How big of a truck do I need to haul your garage?
Are your neighbors nosy?
My neighbor puts a huge light on their barn next door, or whatever you call it, their building.
Where do you keep the keys for your classic cars?
Yeah, they're worried about big cats roaming the neighborhood looking for their little fluffy dog. And I do astronomy in my backyard along with CoCo's.
So that wrecks
this huge light is extremely bright.
Yeah. So like light trespass.
So I went over there with some cookies, and tried to break the ice and
go over with the axe. That'll fix it.
Yeah.
That'll fix it good.
Just come over with your axe over your shoulder. Hey, can you turn that light down?
So, hey, speaking of, hold on. Everybody turn upside down, because we're about to be joined by Nick Marentes. Hey, Nick, good day.
Hey, good day, everyone. Yes, I made it late, but I made it.
It's the Aussie
What time is it in Australia, Nick?
It's 12:30 over midday.
Midday on Saturday.
On Saturday, yes. We're in the future.
Okay, you're in the future.
Yeah.
Nick, can you steady your mic there? It's shaking a bit.
Only if you guys all turn upside down so I can see us properly.
Yeah.
Did you get to watch much of the show?
Yeah, I saw most of it. Yeah, it was good. It was the best fest in a long time, obviously.
What kind of questions do you have for us?
Questions.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you all?
Yeah, right. Who does David Ladd's hair?
Nick, just wait until you ever make it to the United States.
Ron trims it off very carefully with the axe.
Yeah. I want to say I was surprised, so I gave David a big, firm hug. And when he reached around and squeezed my buttocks, I was a little surprised at first. So
yeah, I thought the tongue in the ear was a little bit overpowering myself.
This is a family show. You know.
Is this being recorded?
Is this thing on? Hello, testes, 1, 2.
We don't care if it's being recorded.
Yeah, so much for a family show now.
Yes, yeah, because we know many families sit around the TV.
A moral family, but.
I didn't think this was technically an After Dark.
Nah, well, it is, but it is After Dark. Yeah.
So it's not the CoCoTALK, the weekly CoCoTALK.
Well, it is.
It is. Okay. Yeah.
It's just Stevie's busy tomorrow.
I'm busy tomorrow going to another nerd convention, or at least a nerd meeting. So,
and he's 2 beers in.
I'm 2 beers in. Yeah, I might get a third and then really tell you how I feel.
If we go long enough, it'll be tomorrow anyway.
Yeah,
Nick,
that's true.
Nick, what was your favorite part of the show that you saw on the stream?
The end credits. No.
Aussie and Marentes.
Not sure. I think the best thing was just the walk around all the tables, just seeing all the booths, what people had. I think that was the best thing.
The booth tour.
The booth walk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It wasn't too bad, except for the occasional glare whenever you pointed at David.
He was our personal spotlight.
Oh my god! Oh,
you're going to get it next year. You're going to get it next year.
So Troll Senior just says his favorite part was the end, but I don't know if anybody caught it when I did my walk around. I got to troll the troll. He was talking.
That was good. That was good. Seeing... Yeah, that was good. That one. And got to see how the show was being filmed.
Yeah, the behind the stream, right? The
live stream. Don't cross the streams.
The director's cut of the director's cut.
Right.
So that was good. But it was good seeing all the different hardware. We had all of the memory boards there, and actually, I thought what was interesting was that keyboard that Mark Marlette had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good, but it's only the key mechanism, not so much the key cap. So, in other words, you've got to have an old yellowed keyboard already. All it's doing is replacing the Mylar.
Yeah,
which is good, and it gives it a bit of a click.
Oh, it does. The feel's a lot better from trying it.
Yeah,
it feels like an old IBM keyboard.
Yeah, so I might get that, but ultimately I would like one with new keys.
Yeah.
Even if it's just mainly the white keys. The white keys are the ones.
Well, I mean, can the keys be easily replaced and removed?
Yeah, they come off. They come off easy enough, but
so they should be easy enough to clean or retrobrite or something. Soak them in something.
You can clean them, but your retrobrite is what's needed to get them back to white. But I'm just scared that it might start making the letters fade.
Yeah, true.
You haven't memorized where the keys are yet, Nick? You've had a computer for how many years?
Well, then you just get those clear dynamo labels and you print out the alphabet and you clip them off and stick them on the top of there. So
and just set them up in Dvorak style instead.
Should they be printed?
The problem with Retro Bright is that a lot of plastics just go yellow again.
Yeah. Well, that might be an interesting thing to 3D print the keycaps.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a rough finish, though, 3D printing. So.
Yeah, and I imagine the cost would be quite high, too. For
So technically it's not called Dynamo, it's called Dymo, but whatever.
Dymo, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting trolled by the troll here, so. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I think it's neat, but I look at it like this. I don't know that I would buy one of those proactively. I don't know that I need to upgrade my CoCo to have that. I would look at that as a
keyboard. Not until yours dies.
Yeah, exactly. I would do it as a reactive thing. If I had a CoCo 3 and I had no other keyboard, I would do that reactively.
Oh yeah.
If you had a faulty keyboard that with a damaged mylar. I mean, my keyboard works fine. It's just that it's starting to look worn.
But if for example, let's just say a CoCo 2. And listen, I'm not dissing the product. Okay, here's Ken showing off his Dynamite, or Jason, Dynamite, right? So there's the Dynamite printer. So I'm not dissing the project. It's a cool project. But if you just needed to fix a keyboard, and it's $85 replacement part, and it was a CoCo 2, you could buy a CoCo 2 for less than $85, and you could literally buy another CoCo just for the keyboard if you had to.
Yeah.
Less than buying that. Again, I'm
in my opinion, this keyboard is much nicer to type on. So if
you're
absolutely going to be typing on your CoCo, I don't think there's a better alternative. Short of getting an external adapter.
Right. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about the not this keyboard project, but it's just the keyboard itself.
It doesn't change the keyboard. It doesn't change the fact that it's still literally the same size CoCo 3 keyboard, which is not the best layout for ergonomics. Yeah. But no, as far as the quality of the switches and what you get, I'm not knocking the value of it at all.
It's absolutely outstanding.
And even because if you were to look at, they've talked about what would it cost to reproduce Mylars. You were looking at maybe $60 or more to reproduce the Mylars, and this is $85 for a new board and mechanical switches. So it's a value. But $85 is not cheap. One of the things that Jim Brains talked about is that a lot of times on a product, you got to find that sweet spot in the price. And it seems to be for most projects, $50 is the fair median price for many things.
If it was $80 including keycaps as well.
Yeah.
Just for the record, new Mylar for the Ataris goes for $12.
Wow.
But that's larger. Too.
Yeah, look how many Ataris were made. I mean, that's a different thing. So
that's a mass market.
Yeah.
And I have to say, because CoCo 3s are not cheap on eBay to find anymore.
Right.
For CoCo 3, it's probably much more worth it. You're right. On the CoCo 2, it's kind of like I could just get a new computer for that, as long as you got one with a working Mylar. But the CoCo 3, that's definitely, I think, a worthwhile thing to consider.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's a handful of people who actively use and actively type on their CoCo. I do not actively type on it. I avoid typing on it. I type, and because I have the CoCo SDC and I can auto-load the game I'm going to play, I use the arrow keys, and then I'm done with the keyboard, and I'm onto the joystick. So for me, an upgraded keyboard is not interesting to me because I'm not going to sit here and spend hours beating on that keyboard. But for somebody who does, then this is an upgrade. So that's your demographic there, where you're going to proactively upgrade my keyboard for a better experience, a better tactile experience.
You better pray your arrow keys last.
Yeah. So,
or you can use the joystick in CoCo SDC.
That's true. You can. There you go. So Grant Leighty's in there too. Hey, Grant's not feeling good. So a couple people are a little bit ill post CoCoFEST. Anybody else got a little bit of a sickiness?
Yeah, convention crud.
Convention crud.
Yeah.
I think David's hair fell out. Or was that? Yeah. Was it like that before?
Sorry, Nick. I looked at you one time.
Oh, by the way, I could not find this before, but I found it now. Here is the CoCo Flash itself, still in the static bag. So this is the Retro Innovations CoCo Flash, very small board, including the 3D printed case, the CoCo Flash case. So I have not unpackaged it yet or anything else, just haven't had the time. But I am looking forward to learning how to use the CoCo Flash. which is available at Go for Retro. Matter of fact, let's do that. Let's take a quick moment and let's recognize our sponsors for a moment here, shall we? So at CoCoTALK, we like to recommend recognize outstanding members of the community. And so let's start by saying, and Brendan's here. Brendan Donahe of the CoCo VGA project is here. Hello, Brendan. And to learn more about CoCo VGA, you can go to CoCoVGA.com, including getting on the waiting list to get the board of your choice. We have hot off of CoCoFEST, Richard Lorbieski and Boyson Technology at BoysonTech.com. In the live chat trolling us, we have Jim Brain at Retro Innovations, which is, what is it called? It's go, the number 4, retro.com for Retro Innovations. And it's not just CoCo products there. We've got Commodore. I shouldn't be drinking during the show, right? So we got Commodore and TI and CoCo products. We have the SD pack. This is Antonio Jimenez makes that cool SD pack. I brought those to CoCoFEST. People looked at them. A lot of people liked the fact of the single game on the SD card, like a cartridge where it auto boots. A lot of people liked his 3D printed case, so that was kind of cool. Yeah, fits in your pocket. And so then we also obviously have our retro swag shop where you can get cool T-shirts, the new CoCoTALK After Dark T-shirts there. I think there's another promo coming up in May 2nd for free shipping. So if you want to get some more stuff, you might want to wait till May 2nd, and there'll be some free shipping. And this is another thing that I love. I love it when somebody says, if only there was a website that served as a directory where we could go to find out things about the color computer community. Well, guess what? It's been around for years now, and it's called I'mACoconut.com, your one-stop shop for all your Tandy color computer needs. And here at CoCoTALK, if you want to connect with us, you can go to our website at CoCoTalk.live, where you can email us, you can send us feedback. It's got links to the Facebook page and the Twitter account, all that kind of stuff, so check us out there. You can also get replays of the audio and video versions of our show. And let's not forget the CoCo Crew podcast at CoCoCrew.org, the original show that got the community back on its feet and back on track. And last but not least, we need to give a shout out to Nick's neighbor, Brian Joyce of Extructus Productions. Check out his website at FD501. I need to get CoCoMan on here now, too. I need to get CoCoMan.org and CoCoMan.biz and CoCoHDMI.std and all that kind of cool stuff. So we'll get some more stuff up there in the near future. Richard Lorbieski says, visit Jim Brain's page. I want to return this.com. You're bad. So I think we lost Myro. What else? So let's see. So there's 3 people here who were not at the fest. That is James, Bill, and Nick. Now, James, did you see any of the coverage?
I watched a couple of the presentations, and I watched you doing a walk around, and I was creeped out by the whole streaming thing, but that's just me. Some of the after hours stuff was kind of cool, but you couldn't really follow the conversations that were going on because there was just so much noise.
Yeah,
but it was gave you a good idea of what the atmosphere was like.
Yeah. There's a lot of conversations that take place in the lobbies and stuff.
Just for the record, I voted for John Linville over you.
That's fine, and I believe he's entitled. So
he did a lot better job of advertising events and stuff. That's the only reason.
There you go.
Michael, and that's James' last appearance on CoCoTALK.
Cut him off.
Sorry, you're breaking up.
I'd like the jury to disregard that statement and have that stricken from the record. So
he's probably shocked by it.
Yeah, I got something to throw in when you got a chance.
What's that?
Sorry, cool. I just got something to throw in about the fest when James is done.
Okay. No, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, one thing I saw that I thought was really cool, really impressed me was at the fest was Curtis walking around with his ease of use to the various hardware vendors saying, hey, could you fire this up and see if it's working on your current, whatever your demo, whatever hardware you're demoing and that. And, walking over to Jim and walking over, I don't know who all you walked over to there, Curtis, but I was looking at that going, that's the community at work. Like, that's pretty amazing stuff.
Yep.
I was just trying to get free stuff. It didn't work at all for me.
Oh, really?
Wanted me to pay for stuff. And
Now that's the Curtis I remember.
Try to get free stuff, huh?
That damn cheapskate, yep.
So how did the ease of use go at the show?
Well, it's good. I mean, we weren't selling anything, obviously. It was just we wanted to, like a lot of people that aren't actively watching this show or maybe are just on Facebook or just a list, don't really know what the heck it is. I mean, even Boise, until I got interviewed on CoCo Crew, didn't really know exactly what it was. That was his first question.
Right.
So it was basically just getting out there what the purpose of the project is, and then kind of showing where we are at the moment. So yeah, I got quite a few inquiries of it. We got 3 or 4 more people that joined the alpha test group after the fest because they saw it at the fest. So we got some other people testing. I think what are we up to now, David? I think we're almost up to 20 people now in the alpha testing group.
Wow.
I'm
great.
Not sure, but I do know with the mice that were hooked up, it certainly wasn't that hard for the kids to start up the games.
Yeah, people were coming by and firing up demos and games and stuff just all on their own. That's the whole point. You don't have to get taught it. You can just use it like a modern machine.
And the thing is, if you didn't have all the multi-view working, how many would have done that otherwise?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, see, so that opened the door up to ease of use, didn't it?
Jim Brain's comment on the alpha list is, note to self, 20 people with no social life.
Well, it's better than 20 people with returns, I always say. I also want to thank Ron Delvaux because when he got the Planet engine there, he wanted to get it installed, and I actually he sent me the disk image because I have it here somewhere, but it's buried and stuff. So he sent me the disk image, and I actually got it installed. It's going to be on the Alpha 4 release, along with some other updates. So it's already running, and he's been putting some pictures of it on Facebook. Ron, how did you find the program? It was fairly useful. I mean, taking into consideration it was written in 1990.
I mean, it's fairly simple. I have a couple of other, Windows planetariums, and it's all the, the renderings of the stars and everything are right on, and where the planets are and everything is just dead on. It's kind of useful, actually. If you want to just keep track of where the planets are, bring it up. It's pretty cool.
I like the fact it actually shows the phases. You'll see them too if you look through the telescope. It'll show you like how much of it's lit up by the sun from your position.
Yep.
I didn't realize it, and it's resizable. It's another one like Zone Runner and Rogue. You can actually put them on the same screen and run them all simultaneously, and just switch between them as you're going.
And it does represent where the Milky Way is, which is pretty cool.
Is it close to the Snickers bar?
Right by the Kit Kats.
Yeah. So Salvador has to leave. Salvador says, great show, guys. Got to go. See you later. Take care, Salvador.
Later, man.
Another person who I enjoyed meeting, too, was Disney Saints fan, who I don't think is here right now. But did you guys all get a chance to meet Eddie?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I mean,
very cool guy.
I didn't know that's who that was.
Yeah. So we spent a lot of time chatting. He got to chat up with a lot of people, and that was really cool. He used to work at Good Riddance when he sang there, Jim. Jesus Christ.
He worked in the repair in the 90s. The shack repair.
Yeah, interesting guy.
Yeah, I was long gone at Radio Shack. I had left in '86, so.
And it's like those conversations, I love having those conversations. And, I know we try to capture some of that magic. We try to put it in a bottle on the show. But there's something different when you're just sitting there having those conversations. And it's like on the one hand, it's like, especially like Friday night when we first flew in, we're like, you guys want to do an after dark or something? I'm like, dude, I'm tired. I just got here and I'm tired. I've been on a plane. My ass is sore. I've been in that damn sardine can for 4 hours. And I'm not ready to be live and on the air right now. But we had like a lot of really good conversations. And it would be nice if you could capture all of that, but in a sense, it's not always practical. In the other sense, too, you kind of take away from something because you really need to be in the moment of the conversation. So, we did try to capture some of that. I did try to get some of the lobby talk, but I know somebody mentioned it was hard to hear. But it's just there's nothing like just being there and being in the moment.
Drive wire.
Drive wire TTL. Yeah. So no, I love having those little conversations, and I've always said I got tired of asking. I've always tried to put out there saying, listen, we'd love to have you on the show. And when I say that, I'm talking about to the community. Anybody in the community, we would love to have you on the show. And you get some people who say, well, I don't want to be on because I haven't done anything, and it's not like you don't have to have a resume. There are no
look around.
Right.
It's
so
nice
it's
getting
like
a user's perspective, like Ron.
Exactly.
He keeps telling us that he hasn't quote unquote done anything, but he's got a garage full of stuff that a lot of us have never even seen. So
yeah. But I like just having somebody who wants to share a story. Like, what was it like when you used to hang out at Radio Shack, or what was it like when you worked at Radio Shack? All those things are interesting to me. I mean, it's great when we have, we have people like Steve Bjork and everybody else on here too. That's great when you have like your A-list celebrities, but it's also nice just to have the regular people who are just, we love the CoCo, because that's what the community is. It's based on people who love the machine.
Like us Z-list people like me. Now, I did want to bring up one person that showed up on Sunday, which was a bit of a surprise, which was Carl Boyle, because he just had a stroke recently.
Yes.
And he was actually got, like, it's day-to-day with him. You don't know if he's going to have a good enough day to come out or not, and he actually made it out on Sunday. And that was really good, because I hadn't seen him since I was back at the fest in 2000, 2001, and we worked together on the ID project, and he's the one who helped organize getting the fest from Rainbow and continuing it on in the first place. So that was a real special moment for me that I made it out for that.
Is he the one that's been to all of the CoCoFests?
Well, he hasn't been to all of them the last few years because of his stroke. But he's the one who organized and got the first one going.
Who was it that came? Was an older guy.
Was that Carl Boyle, the stroke?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen him on Facebook, but I didn't see him in person. But
yeah. Yeah, that was kind of cool.
And it was nice that Tony pointed him out, too, because he is the one that, after Rainbow was canceling supporting the fest themselves, Carl's the one that got the ball rolling with Dave and Nancy Myers of CoCo Pro to help sponsor getting the first CoCoFest, the last CoCoFest, back in '92. So the reason we're all here is actually partly because of Carl, so that was really cool that he made it out.
Yeah, true. Now, was he also involved in the Glenside IDE project, too?
Yep, he was one of the organizers of that. I got involved with it on the version 2 drivers. And Carl and I worked together on that actually a little bit. Suggestions back and forth.
Yeah. So the auction got to be pretty interesting. Saturday auction got some really cool bidding wars. The highlight, I think, of the Sunday auction was the Burke and Burke Mylar designs for the IDE controllers.
Yeah, there were the
MFM controllers.
Yeah, those were the original master photostat or whatever they call them to transfer onto PC boards.
So, like this would be like similar to having like an original cell of like a Disney movie or something, like
it's like an electronic blueprint for the
an electronic blueprint. So, like, imagine having one of the original cells from like Snow White or an early Disney, Steamboat Willie or something like that. Just literally a slice of history.
Yeah, it'd be like having Jim's first RMA.
And so there was a bidding war for that. I think Richard Lorbieski got in on that too. Richard and John Linville started locking horns. So it was like a couple of giant elks fighting over who's going to be able to mate with the
but yeah, with words.
It was a highly coveted prize apparently, and But yeah, I think I ended up selling for about $250 for these things.
Yep.
But there was a handwritten note that Chris Burke did to and I guess what had happened was, but Tony Pedraza was saying was that they had been holding on to this for a number of years. And so Chris Burke had donated to the club saying that maybe somebody would find this interesting, maybe somebody would think this is has some value of its historical significance and everything else. So it was a little handwritten note signed by Chris Burke of Burke & Burke. And so they had it for a while, and this was the year they decided to release it, this being one of the biggest events in the past 10 years, from what I'm understanding. John Mark Mobley says, I've been coming for 10 years, and this was the biggest event in the past 10 years. That says something right there, right?
So they brought it out of the vault for the occasion, eh?
Yeah. So that was kind of cool. So it makes you wonder, what else are they still holding on to, you know?
The Ark of the Covenant, of course.
Yeah, right.
Another chalice of future.
Yeah, maybe that. But now maybe the Burke and Burke was the general. Maybe that was the most general excitement. But there was one 10-year-old who was extremely thrilled at that auction. When he was bidding on that Bluetooth control arcade controller.
Yeah,
Jacob.
Yeah.
He saw that. Oh, that looks cool. It started at $5, and he bid $7, and then I started going past that. He's like, and then Steve Stroh won it, and then he walked over and handed it to Jacob, and you should have seen the look on Jacob's face. His eyes just bugged out, like, what? You're just giving this to me? It blew him away. It just blew him away.
And we have a picture of that on Facebook. So there is a photo gallery that's on Facebook, right. And you can follow. It's in the Facebook group. I think it's on the CoCoTALK page too. Tim Franklin has just joined us, saying, "Sorry, I'm late." Hey, Tim.
But I just do want to say one more thing about that great son of yours. He is great. He was blowing me away. How mature he was and how polite he was. Of course, Canadians are always polite, but still. He was just joy to have there at the show.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think I'm the exception there, but yeah, thanks.
Bruce, it would have been great if your son was bidding on that Burke and Burke, because then Stevie Stroh would have jumped in and we could have gotten $600. You would just handed it to your son. That's cool.
Just kept it going.
So yeah. So that's interesting. I know there's historical significance to this, but is there any actual commercial significance to those? Like, could we produce something now that people would want to buy with those blueprints?
Well, my intention was, if I had gotten them, I was going to produce probably about 100 of them, and then sell them, and then part of the proceeds would go back to Glenside. I mean, it's more of a, I think it's more of a nostalgic thing than anything else, because it requires an XT board to work with it, and MFM and RLL technology. It's very hard to find those kind of drives to work.
Now, I will mention one thing, because Chris actually did demonstrate this at Rainbow Fest back in the day. It was a generic XT adapter. It did not have to be a hard drive controller. He actually did have a Logitech ScanMan as one of the samples he was showing. He actually did scans on the CoCo back in the day. So it can hook up to other 8-bit XT interface cards, but once again, those are probably pretty hard to find.
Those are hard to find too. Just the cards, but even the hard drives, if you're going to use the hard drive as a hard drive controller, because that's a 30-year plus technology.
Yeah,
right there.
Okay, so it would have been like a retro reproducing a retro rerun, reproduction.
But there was a Burke and Burke that went up for auction on eBay, and it sold for over $300. That was with the case and everything, the cables. Okay. So yeah, there are people that would want one, just to have.
Right.
I still have one, except the drive died. But if somebody really, really wants it,
God bless you, Mark Overholser. You were sneezing, but you were also muted. So God bless you. No, that's cool. I was curious about that. I know. Obviously, the historical significance is not even in question, but I really wondered if there was any secondary commercial value to reproducing these, or taking that design. Because I would imagine everybody here now knows how to design things. Somebody could make one from scratch easier than needing that to produce something. I would imagine so. But it's the original, so that is kind of cool. It's a slice of CoCo history.
It is, because it was the first hard drive interface. I mean, there was a couple out before that. Owlware had one, Tandy had one, but none of the drives for those were affordable or all that quick for that matter. And Birkenberg was the first one that mainstreamed hard drives for the CoCo. Like, that thing sold like crazy when it came out. Because the XG drives, because of the IBM PC size of the market, they were dirt cheap compared to anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, the Tandy controller was basically a SCSI controller for talking on hard drives.
Yeah.
Is that like Disto?
Oh yeah, Disto was a SCSI too.
Yeah.
And there were some sassy ones as well back in the day. But
yeah, and the other thing about
sassy.
the Birkenberg also had a real-time clock.
Yeah, and an auto boot ROM, so you could boot straight off the hard drive.
Yep.
Nowadays with DriveWire, you really don't need a real-time clock.
DriveWire.
DriveWire.
Or
TTL.
I still want to build one. I still want to build a real-time clock, just so I can have it. Damn it.
Well, hey, even though this is mostly a just CoCoFest wrap-up show, I believe David Ladd might have something to tell us about what he's technically broken or fixed this week, and it's just a great opportunity for us to roll one of these great clips that Brian Joyce has produced for us. So, so let's roll a "What Did David Break This Week" clip, and let's let David Ladd let us know what he's done to make the world a better and safer place. So hold on one second here. There we go. There's one of many. We have many of those in the can. Jim Brain says he broke his hair. So David, you found a few things going on with the CoCo emulation in MAME recently, which you've had a hand at getting updated. You want to share some of that with us?
There was only one bug that I found, which was only like 3 lines of code that was missing from the CoCo 3 DriveWire support in MAME. It was just 3 missing lines. But if you, since it was HBD DOS, and if you did a drive off so you could access the real floppy images, the CoCo would go bye-bye. Imagine that, floppies again. So, yeah. Submitted it, and they go, oh, okay, they accepted it.
Oh, neat.
Hey, there's
one in the club now.
There's a newbie question on Facebook. It's by Christopher David.
Okay.
He says, I apologize profusely in advance. Here comes a stupid question from a new CoCo owner. I'm a Z80 collector. Why does the CoCo 3 not fill up the CM8 when it was designed for it? Is it some kind of weird viewable area issue?
Ah,
and he's
good
got
question.
a picture.
Yeah, I covered that in my talk.
Yeah, but it actually does on occasion, depending on what you run, right?
What mode you're in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the default Tandy Color Computer 3 was set to also run on a TV, so you couldn't do too much overscan on there. Otherwise, it would run right off and you couldn't read stuff. Like I know Robert Galt was mentioning on the list about some patches for BASIC to run 80 by 28, and he was wondering why didn't they have that enabled, give you extra text on the screen. Well, the reason is on a TV, you wouldn't be able to read the top line or the bottom line.
Oh, there's a CM8 with a picture from...
There's a CM8 with a picture of Ron next to a CM8.
And there it is.
And a door on it.
Yeah.
And a door.
Inception.
It's got a door. You see that? That's
rarer than the Birkenberg masking thing that was on the auction.
And my image still has its door.
Yeah, we're going to get Nick complained about the shaky cam in a second.
Yeah. Sorry, I got to say, who was holding the camera?
The same guy who's holding up the finger right now.
We give you a shaky cam.
So I think seeing Gary Becker again for me was kind of cool because the first time I came to CoCoFEST, I had no idea who Gary Becker was. I had never heard of the Becker port. I was not anywhere near as familiar with the CoCo 3 FPGA as of yet. This was all new to me. So seeing him again a couple years later, having had time to absorb and soak in things that are happening and continue to happen, it was kind of cool. And the CoCo 3 FPGA is the original hardware-based CoCo 3 alternative before Roger Taylor came along with his. And it's a different project, but it's a neat project. What I do like about the CoCo 3 FPGA is that the boards are kind of stacked up on top of each other. It's almost like a 3-layer sandwich. And I like the clear case to it. And I like that there are some physical switches on some of these boards that you can kind of touch and press, which kind of reminds me of older computers, like especially if you go back to like the Altair or something, where you had nothing but switches and lights and stuff, So the fact that you have some tactile, tangible things on it, I think are kind of cool.
Yeah, and pretty blinking lights. And
lots of blinking lights, yes.
Oh, I just wanted to add, wanted to thank Gary for upgrading my DE1 computer while he was there. I had brought it, and I asked him if he could flash it for me, and he had it all set up for me, and I really appreciate what he did.
That's neat. That's neat. And he's a really nice guy, too.
Yeah, he is. I talked to him and his wife for quite a while at the show, too, which is the first time I've done that.
Yeah.
So interestingly, when I first met Gary at Vintage Computer Festival Southwest a number of years ago, that same board that he's using for the CoCo 3 FPGA, it actually can also emulate an Ohio Scientific or an Apple IIe, and those are also his designs.
Oh, neat. Yeah, and he was talking about, again, I know enough to be dangerous, but I try to listen and absorb. But I remember him talking to a few people about how his 6809 core is working right now. And one of the reasons, because I know Bill Noble has mentioned to me before, too, because we did a nice presentation on the Matchbox CoCo. What's the Matchbox CoCo called this week?
Yeah.
Sir CoCo or Mr. CoCo? Or
no, that Mr. CoCo is the new one for the DE.
Oh, that's the mist version, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's still called Matchbox CoCo?
Still called the Matchbox CoCo for the DE0 Nano.
Okay. So one of the reasons why I thought I understood that the Matchbox CoCo only ran at 7 megahertz versus the 25 of Gary's was the speed of the RAM. It's one of the reasons why you did. But what Gary also had revealed was that his 6809 core is not the cycle accurate 6809 core. So the reason why his runs faster is because it's a slightly different core, and he's saying that if he had changed it to be cycle accurate, it wouldn't be running at 25 megahertz. It would probably go down to about 17. So even with the faster RAM, it has something to do with the CPU core emulation. And so it's like some of the Sockmaster stuff won't work on his because it's not cycle accurate. So they're just different. It's neat that there are alternatives to what a CoCo is.
Oh, okay. That's something I didn't know about Gary's project.
Yeah. And again, I am paraphrasing what I heard, so you probably want to hear it from somebody who knows what they're talking about, but I heard something to that extent. That's not the exact quote or any specific detail, but I do remember him saying something like that.
Blank space.
Yeah, don't everybody talk at once there.
Yeah. That was a pause for dramatic effect.
There was something that I saw as far as speeding up stuff that impressed me a fair bit, and that's when Curtis was running his windowing stuff on what was it? What was it, Curtis? It was your faster multi-view. What was that? That was going like blazingly so much faster than the stock 6809. What was that?
Oh yeah, we were comparing the 6309 and 6809 versions. I think I had the bouncing ball demo as one of the things Kevin Darling did way back. So it was basically just show off the speed difference. We also shot a little bit of video on Sunday at Brendan's booth showing the difference between the 689 and 639 versions of the CoVGA running at 64 column mode, which David's put together a little video I think Brendan will be putting a link in his page if he hasn't already, kind of showing the difference there. It's literally twice as fast. Putting text, which means if you want to do a text game in a 64 by 32 text column or 128 by 64 semi-graphics, especially once we add in, for support for the new user-definable character sets, you can make little Space Invaders character stuff. You could write a pretty decent game in BASIC that would run pretty darn quick.
Yeah.
So.
And you're working on Run B, the basic 09 core, and optimizing that too, right?
Yeah, and that would be for level 1 and level 2, and the Dragon.
Yeah. Speed increases there too. That's very cool.
Yeah.
So Ken says, who bought the Timex Sinclair? It made the MC10 look like a real computer.
I don't know.
Yeah, because it was having the Sinclair next to the MC10 was considerably smaller. So I don't remember the machines that well, but it was.
And the keyboard's terrible.
Yeah, you can tell them by the keyboards.
I got a picture of it. I think I can get to quick here. So maybe.
It was really neat. I'm at the fest and I get this little ping on Facebook Messenger, and it's Simon Jonason saying, "Hey, I just you should go over to Ron's booth and check out what." And I had just been there. Ron had just gotten his 3D demo running on the MC10. He said, "Hey, Bruce, look at this." Oh, whoa, look at that. Oh, Simon did that. Cool. And then I just got a text Simon saying he just sent it to him. So it was like live. It was like he was there, it was happening.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
I used my phone. He put a little slider on there, and I just hit the phone, hooked it up to the thing, and it loaded. It was a machine language program.
That was so cool.
Nah.
Simon messaged me too, and I was just standing there. Says, "By the way, I'm standing right here next to Ron." It's really funny.
Yeah.
We have 22 people watching us live right now, which is pretty cool. Thank you guys all for being here. I think we're going to go ahead and we've been now going on 2 hours. Let's take another bio break. I'm going to run a couple, 2-3 commercials, give you guys all a chance to go potty, get a drink, whatever, do your hair, and we'll be back. I don't know how much longer we want to keep talking about this. I'm cool if everybody's cool. It's almost 11:30 Florida time for me, but I had a nap, so I'm good. But we will take a break, and we'll be back. Thank you for watching CoCoTALK, and we'll see you all in a few.
Hi, I'm Kieran Anscombe, author of XRAW, and your brain is resolving sensory input into CoCoTALK.
G'day, mates. This is Nick Marionettes, author of such colour computer titles as Donut Disaster, Rupert Rhymes, and Rockstar Pilot. And I am here today to tell you about the world's most fabulous operating system, OS 9. OS 9 and its current incarnation Nitrous 9 is the most advanced operating system ever created. And what makes it so good? Ease of use. I find OS 9 so incredibly intuitive that I haven't once cracked open the user manual, and yet I've been able to create such incredible games faster than the time it takes to sing Waltzing Matilda. Using OS 9, I expect my next game, Funstar, will be done this weekend and distributed exclusively on ROM cartridge. OS 9 forever.
Any resemblance to actual events to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
What's going on, guys? Stevie Stroh here, and I want to say thank you so much for being part of this adventure with us. It's been such a great experience in doing CoCoTALK every week, and the support we get is just amazing. And so the fact that you watch and listen is all the reward that we need. However, if you would like to become a patron of the show and offer some financial assistance towards the production and hosting costs of the show, we do have a Patreon site available for that, and you can reach that by going to our website at CoCoTalk.live and clicking on the Patreon link. But just do us a favor and watch and listen to the show.
At GSoft, we make games for the TRS-80 color computer, TRS-80 MC10, and Dragon computers. Our basic games cover the range of genres from arcade, to text adventures, to simulations, to 3D, Dungeon Crawls. This is our latest puzzle game from Japan, Fruit Panic. So come on and drop by our website and download our latest games.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, it's Original Gamer Stevie Stroh. You know, gameplay goodness. Gameplay goodness. You know, gameplay goodness. All right, people. Gameplay goodness. Thank you so much. You know, gameplay goodness. Yeah. You know, gameplay goodness. Are you ready for this? You know, this one's just for you, Richard. Yeah.
I was just going to say Richard's favorite commercial.
You know, gameplay goodness. Yeah. You know, gameplay goodness. You know, gameplay goodness. This is how we like to do it. Gameplay goodness. All right, people. You know, gameplay goodness. You know, gameplay goodness. You know, gameplay goodness. You know, gameplay goodness. Yeah. Drop it low. Gameplay goodness. All right, people. Gameplay goodness. To the flow. Gameplay goodness. Yeah. You know, gameplay goodness. Yeah. That's great. There's Zach's on. And there we go. Just for you, Richard Lorbieski, your favorite part of the show, the rap segment. Here's Ron Delvaux showing all of the pizza crusts that I didn't eat.
Yep, left half the pizza behind.
This week
That's
on
against
what
the law.
Steve
That for
didn't
later.
eat.
Man, I could never do that when I was a kid.
Good thing it was thin crust, otherwise it'd be a real waste.
Yeah, right?
That's why I discovered that Stevie eats like a spoiled 3-year-old.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
There's us right there. There's us at the table.
The only way we can get Stevie to eat that edge crust is if we put cheese in the middle of it.
Yeah, and then give me some sauce to dunk it in.
Yeah. Maybe beer.
Yeah.
Now I want stuffed crust pizza.
So yeah, we got to take in some local fare too. So what was the hot dog joint we went to a couple of times?
Portillo's?
Portillo's, yeah. So
yeah, it's really Italian beef joint.
Okay, gotcha.
I had a cheeseburger. It was good. It was real good.
I had a Chicago dog on Saturday, and then I had the hamburger on Sunday.
Oh, you missed the best one. The Italian beef with sausage link.
That just seems like, yeah.
That sounds like
what's
that called?
You'll get gas before you eat it.
Sounds like a death sandwich. I mean, it's just
sounds like a Bill EMP sandwich is what it sounds like.
Bill.
Bill EMP. So we had some brick oven pizza. We had the Portillo's. We did a Fuddruckers. We had the Saturday barbecue, which was really good. I thought that was good too.
Mm-hmm. I still think that what we should have done was got the crew together and took the leftover beans, and then we could sit around a campfire like in Blazing Saddles.
Oh,
that's basically CoCoTALK, isn't it?
So
CoCoTALK After Dark.
So one of the streams we actually did is we did a stream of us driving to lunch. So there was the on the way to lunch live stream, and then we had one I called Lunch Talk, where I just had the phone on the table while we're having lunch on Saturday. So today on Lunch Talk, we're going to see what Ron Delvaux had for lunch. So
yeah, I still haven't even watched all those yet. I got to still catch up on some of that stuff.
Yeah, so there was we had a on the way to lunch stream. We had the Lunch Talk stream. Yeah, all kinds of good stuff.
I went with Alan. He had to go to White Castle's so he could try their new Whataburger, which is a vegetarian, or it's not meat sandwich, but it looks like meat.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to try it.
I have a question. How many cats have we had on the show so far? Have we had 2? We had Mark's cat. Jason, did you have your cat on the show yet?
Yep.
Yeah, several times.
My cat.
Mine was just below camera range, but.
All right, so here's cat number 3. Here's Gizmo Man. Here's cat number 3.
Cat number 3.
Say hi to the internet. Say hi to the internet,
Hi, Gizmo
Man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so that's the demon cat that we always hear in the background.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So here's cat number 3. I don't know if Steve wants to get his dog out. Welcome to Cat Talk.
I can get my cat with the bad evil eye if you want.
Let's go for a cat record. And doesn't Jimmy need that? Or Timmy needs something, doesn't he?
Yeah, Timmy needs something.
Curtis is about to grab his.
There we go. Cat number 4. Oh, he's a Siamese cat. He's a handsome fellow.
Look at that. Siamese, nice.
We are Siamese, if you please. Yeah, looking good.
Yeah, he still thinks he should be fed again, though.
Yeah.
Don't say all.
There's Curtis in front of the high scoreboard there.
I could always go get my basset hound. I could always get my basset hound if.
Yeah, we need to balance things out. Now. Okay, so we've had 4 cats. I think this is a new CoCoTALK record. 4 cats in one show.
Yeah, I thought Coco Cat was supposed to make an appearance at the show this year, and that didn't happen. I thought somebody had the costume.
Oh, I don't know about that. I've been hearing those rumors for a while.
Yeah. Maybe it's like the 256 color mode on the Coco 3.
So yeah, we're not even going to go there this week with with other things that happen in Facebook. We'll save that for next week.
Yeah. But I did want to say one thing about the show. I really enjoyed because we had new products coming out like that. We actually had some price wars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was watching some stuff drop as much as 66%.
Right.
Incredible competition there.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
I have to say it's many years since I remember seeing a price war at CoCoFEST.
Yep.
There we go. There's the Timex Sinclair next to the MC10. It makes the MC10 look like a capable machine.
Yep, it does.
Well, I think even Steve would agree compared to the ZX80 or 81, the MC10 would have been a better machine.
Well, yes and no.
Uh-oh. Here's Richard. Here's cat number 5. We have broken the cat record. The internet is on fire. Meow.
I'm going to have to get off soon because I'm definitely allergic to cats.
Who says the internet's nothing but cat videos?
Oh, a new cat record. Now, so what I thought was interesting was meeting, I don't know if it's the real or if it's the original, but we'll just say the other Steve Stroh. So meeting Steve Stroh, because my name is, I abbreviate my last name to Stroh, and it's spelled differently. So he's S-T-R-O-H, Stroh, and I'm S-T-R-O-W. So it was really interesting meeting him because I think he had posted a comment on our Rainbow Online one time, and I thought it was a hacker or a troll or something because it was just weird. Like, wait a second, why is this guy calling himself Steve Stroh?
I thought it was a whole Neil Brookins incident.
Yeah, I thought it was a whole other Neil Brookins thing. And so I didn't even pay attention to it because I didn't read the whole thing. As soon as I saw the name, I'm like, somebody's trolling or whatever. And then I heard him on the roundtable discussion on the next to last CoCoTALK podcast. And then we met the man in person, and he's the same guy who gave Bruce Moore's son Jacob that controller after winning it in the auction, which was kind of cool. He actually had a nice little piece of feedback. He's like, I'm listening to the show, and sometimes you guys are looking at things, and I don't know what you're looking at because you're just oohing and ahhing over whatever it is that you're looking at, and I'm listening and I can't tell what it is, and I'm like, I get it. I mean, listen, we asked for feedback. It was constructive feedback. Now, sometimes maybe we can try to be proactive and remember if we're doing something that's highly visual that we'll try to annotate or commentate on it. But the show is going to be what the
syndrome.
Yeah. But the show is commentate. I don't know. I like to make up words. So we can try, but the show is what the show is. So it is primarily a video show with a bonus factor that you can listen to it, But I thought that was interesting. It was valid feedback. Nice guy too, Steve Stroh. So
and he seems to be fairly new to the community again in this round. So he was asking a lot of questions, and that's good to see the enthusiasm of wanting to learn everything.
Yeah, there was another guy. Who was the other guy? Oh my God, he was like newbie noob. He was like he made noob seem noob. I can't remember his name, but we chatted a lot, and so he had like tons and tons and tons of questions.
Was it the guy that had the notepad?
Yes, he literally is taking notes. Literally
I thought he
taking
was a
notes.
reporter almost.
Yeah, I thought so too at first, right? He's just taking notes. He's asking everybody questions, and really good questions too, because he wants to know. He wants to understand. I think he is a programmer, so he's got a background in other platforms, so now he's trying to understand how to put that in the framework of the CoCo. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now.
He just popped into Facebook recently too, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
what the heck is his name?
I don't know.
Because he was the guy that actually did his master's using the CoCo or something back in 2002, and now he kind of went away and did other stuff or something, and now he's kind of getting back into it.
Okay.
I think
so.
It's
I'm not sure, but yeah, he was a neat guy to talk to. It's always cool because people come in. It's neat how many more people are falling out of the tree. You know. And for me, like it's been 3 years. I fell out of the tree and I had to learn all this stuff, and I feel fairly fortunate that I'm kind of up to speed, and I try to stay current, and it's hard to stay on top of how much things happen. But it's great to be able to see somebody else come in and have that same enthusiasm and embark on that journey of discovery. It is kind of neat when you fall back into the CoCo 30 years later and realize there's so much going on, you know. It's kind of like watching a series on Netflix that you've never seen before. Like it was like 2 or 3 years ago, we finally watched Lost for the first time on Netflix. I completely missed it when it was on TV. I'm like, wow, this is really good, you know. So it's like there's never a wrong time to jump in and catch up on something, you know. So, all right. So who was your least favorite person that you met at CoCoFest?
Besides that, Jim Brain?
The janitor.
The janitor.
Did you see him? When we found out that they used permanent marker on the game board.
Oh, yeah.
We had asked him if he had any acetone to take it off. And he couldn't help us.
Yeah, I know Jason and Ken, we stopped by a Dollar General to get some rubbing alcohol to try to get that stuff off.
You should have asked me. I had acetone.
Ah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Your name came up, but I guess nobody asked you.
No, nobody asked me.
Speaking of video,
if there was one female with a purse, it could have had something, maybe to remove nail polish.
Yeah. I'm sorry, David. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I've been trying to cut in. There's a video in the chat about the video recordings that Curtis did for Brandon.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pull it up and I'll try to show it. Give me just a second here. All right.
Jim Brain says he hated everybody equally.
Yes.
Guess that's an equitable answer.
But Jim, I so enjoyed our time together.
Wow. Got to take it to the creepy place.
I'm not going to touch that one.
Yeah,
Ladies
I'm trying to find
creepy David Ladd.
I can't find my scene now for full screen. Here it is. Here's my full screen scene. So hold on one second here. Let's unmute the audio.
There's no audio. Don't
okay. So speed comparison. All right. So just hit play.
Yep.
Riveting, isn't it?
Okay. 68B0. Okay, here we go. So what's the one on the right?
6309. One on the left, 6809. So you can see the speed difference. It's exact same program running on both.
Yeah.
And it's literally, we did a timing. Ron Klein did some timing. We were doing the testing, and it's literally twice as fast.
Okay. Well, my life has been forever changed. Thank you for that.
Lots of fun watching the numbers just scroll by.
Yes.
Yeah. Next time we'll use Steve's game as the demo for that. So.
Yeah, but they'll be over in 2 seconds, though.
No, he's not going to play it. It's just going to be his game he's porting.
Oh.
Now, if we're doing a show and tell, I have a CoCoTALK exclusive here for you guys.
Oh.
And I did tell Stevie about this yesterday. But,
yes, and I completely forgot. Thanks, Eric. What's the link, and I'll pull it up.
Now, I've got it here on my end. If you want me to share my screen.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Yep.
Put you in the driver's seat.
All right. Does that show up here?
What is it?
This just in, another CoCoTALK exclusive.
Yeah. Are you seeing that on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, yes, the website is color-computer.com. If you guys forget that link, I can send out postcards or something. And these are all of my 3D pictures. You saw me walking around CoCoFEST with my 3D lens on my camera. These are all the 3D pictures I processed over this last week. And they're in various formats here, from 2D to 3DS ready, anaglyph. We'll take a look at some of these here. If you guys got some of your red-green or red-blue glasses, you should grab them. But
oh wow,
yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Should the red be on the right or the left?
I can't tell from where I'm sitting.
Yes, just break out your Warp Fighter 3D glasses.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's get a.
Oh yeah, here we are. It should be red on the left.
Red on the left.
Yeah, red is on the left.
So this isn't on a CoCo, is it? No.
Well, this was at the CoCoFEST. I've got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty decent 3D actually.
So color-computer.com.
Neil in 3D.
Neil in 3D.
And this does work for Steve's Warp Fighter 3D game too, by the way. These glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Nice glasses there, Curtis.
Thank you.
I can't.
I didn't know there was going to be 3D, or I would have brought mine.
Yeah, you'll have to go to the website, and it'll stay up, so you'll have plenty of time to check it out.
And you also have a link where somebody can download this as a zip file. There's Richard.
That's right. It's right on the front page. You'll be able to download the zip file. Might be a little easier to browse with that zip file.
Oh, geez, that looks gross in 3D.
Oh,
Curtis
I could do
in
things
3D.
with that photo right there.
That's Steve Stroh.
Yep. That's Steve Stroh there.
Not to be confused with Stevie Strober.
Now, didn't you pick him up from the airport?
I did. I thought he was you until he got in my car. It was not you.
So he put something on the mailing list where you told me this over lunch. He put out a message on the mailing list saying, "Can somebody give me a ride?" And you said yes, and you thought it was me.
Yeah. But, I'm happy to take anybody to CoCoFEST, and it was really interesting to meet Steve Stroh. So.
Yes, often duplicated but never imitated.
Yeah,
absolutely. Hey, Paul. Paul Barton has joined us. Hey, Paul.
I'm just going through 3D pictures.
Oh, the heron in 3D.
3D, yeah, it's sticking right over the screen at me right now. I'm always
touch the heron.
Back.
Yeah.
Well, at least he didn't get my. I was just about to ask, and hopefully he didn't get my head.
I might have. I'm probably only halfway through.
Feels like I can almost touch it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that.
Yeah. So if you weren't at CoCoFEST, this is the next best thing.
Well, the thing is, when you got a photograph of David,
who's that guy?
That's Chris Hawks.
Okay.
Hawksoft.
You have to do one thing. You got to put the lens flares like Abrams does.
No, you don't.
Alan Huffman. And Temple of Ram. Yeah,
this is kind of inspiring me to want to make a 3D game again.
Yeah.
Been done in a while.
Yeah, I think the CoCo's perfect for it.
CoCo FPGA.
Mm-hmm.
John Strong. No, there's the bouncing ball.
Oh, look at that. There's one of my mouse adapters.
Yeah.
I have to fix the bouncing ball. It's not in 3D.
Steve Bjork.
Steve.
Yeah. Couple of him.
The guy who makes 3D games is now in 3D himself.
Yep.
John Linville.
Yeah, there was a couple 3D games back then. I think there was a couple in Hot Cocoa or something too, if I remember.
I think this is where they were giving out the awards.
No, look at that. Yeah, I mean, listen, not to take anything away from anything, but when you want to compare the complexity of the CoCo VGA versus an RGB to SCART cable, it's easy to see that one of them's got a little bit more technology going on, you know. Yeah, there's the other Stevie Stroh.
Even when I voted for him too. I'm sure it was unanimous.
Now I told them no award, take me out of it, because all I've done this last year is bitch and complain. I don't want an award for that.
Well, it's a lifetime achievement for
your an award now too, then, because that's all he does is bitch and complain too.
Right.
So.
It was a lifetime achievement for the website, and you're done for them. I think is what the award.
Yeah, I know, but awards should have gone to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. There's Jim Brain's daughter.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell that the daughter does not get her looks from Jim, and thank God, right? So.
Yeah. Or attitude. I talked to her for a little bit.
Yeah.
So Mrs. Brain is you can tell where all the beauty is in that family. So.
And the grace.
Yes.
I think, Steve, they were just happy that you were there, and so they wanted to encourage you to come back again.
These are neat. These are really neat.
They are.
Yeah, especially with the glasses on.
I wish I had some glasses. I know we've got them somewhere. I'm just not going to go run do them. Jim says, hate. There's Ken in the background. Ken, make it.
Yes.
Yes. There's Jamie Cho. I thought his presentation was really interesting.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I missed the beginning of it. I was still going to watch the thing because I got it.
There's the CoCo Crew live roundtable. Now, that's ironic, right? So the CoCo Crew was live on the CoCoTALK live channel, and we weren't even live on that. CoCoTALK is a live show that wasn't live. CoCo Crew is a pre-recorded show that was live on CoCoTALK's channel. So
it was funny.
It just made them easier to heckle.
It was even funny is when they were out in the lobby, when we were all out in the lobby talking, they were all sitting in the same order, all four of them together like that.
Yeah, oh yeah. Just, excuse me. Tony Pedraza.
Yeah,
Richard Lorbieski.
Yay.
Oh, that's when they sold the signs.
It was nice to see a lot of our shirts floating around the fest this past weekend too. A lot of the
there were a lot.
Lots of retro swag shirts on display. It did me proud.
And here we're packing up.
Somebody's jet's about ready to take off. Pilot to co-pilot. Bojangles. Yeah. Mr. Bojangles.
I think.
What was the name of that again?
I think we've looped around.
We just looped through it. That's neat. I'm gonna have to find my glasses and do that.
They actually look pretty good, I have to say.
Yeah.
What's the website again?
It's color-computer.com.
And it's in the YouTube chat too for posterity.
Yeah, I put that in the chat.
You want to show off my stylish glasses too, so people know what they have to wear?
Yeah, well, we can't see it until he stops screen sharing. That's neat. Thanks, Eric, for doing that.
No problem. A lot of fun getting that going.
Yeah, I think the year before, Alan had gotten a 360-degree camera, but we were having a hard time getting the drivers for it and stuff like that. But yeah, one of those cameras where you can see in all directions and the people who are watching it live can kind of spin it around and see what they want to see. That would kind of be neat for the auction, to live stream the auction with a 360-degree camera so anybody can watch whatever angle they want to watch. That might be kind of cool. That might be worth live streaming if you get the right camera for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there's Curtis with his glasses. It's like 1950s now. It's Mr. X-Ray 3D man.
I'm ready to see the space alien movie.
Yes.
At the drive-in.
Blob.
It's the 1950s all over again.
Oh, yeah. The Wax Museum in 3D. So, cool stuff. Good stuff. Well, we're going on 2.5 hours. Have we beat this one to death, or do you want to wax nostalgic more about it, or save it? Maybe we can do an after dark tomorrow when I get back from my Florida Retro Club meeting.
Okay.
And save some more for tomorrow.
I'll be at a wedding, unfortunately, so I can't make it, but I'll watch
the after
afterwards.
dark?
For an after dark tomorrow?
Oh. In the evening? Curtis?
Tomorrow. Oh.
You got the wedding, you got the reception. It's a long day.
There you go.
It's like a 2 a.m. thing up here.
Is there something that we didn't talk about? Is there anything else? Because listen, I'm still kind of punch drunk and tired from this week, just catching up from CoCoFEST. What did we not mention?
Drive wire.
Just for the
drive wire.
Drive wire.
Just for the record, I am not just the optimizer of the MC10 ROM.
Okay.
I released the first speed up for the CoCo 3
That's
over
true.
the CoCo.
Right, so basically referring to James Diffendaffer as the guy who optimized the MC10 is like saying that Steve Bjork is the guy who made Zaxxon. You are so much more than that. Yes. Cool stuff. So what else did we not talk about that we should probably just share with those?
I do want to mention
us?
something on the high scoreboard. It was really cool to see the people. In fact, there was a bit of competition playing Zaxxon between me and Diego and a few others. I think Diego ended up winning. I can't remember. But my favorite was the fact that Billy Mitchell actually showed up and got 8 million.
Wow, you heard about our event.
I heard he had video of it and everything. So
yeah, but the video was a little shaky.
Yeah, seemed to be a little cutscene-y too. That's what I.
Yeah, somebody came up and he says, "Why didn't you play on the Zaxxon challenge?" I go, "It's very simple. Everybody complained it wasn't fair if I win, and if I don't win, how come you didn't win since you wrote the game?"
Right.
Can't win, can't lose.
Right.
But as Rick Adams and others mentioned, quite a few of the game programmers actually weren't good at playing games. They were good at making them. So that wouldn't be too off.
I was an arcade player, and doing games was just like, yeah, dream job.
Yeah.
Make it, and you get to play it for hours.
So what else? What have we not talked about?
We talked about
the
the
only thing I
chalice.
was going to mention, Steve.
The chalice? Yeah. You want to show off the chalice again, Jason?
Oh, it's in storage here, but I got a photo op there with Bruce there at his booth with the chalice.
Good.
I finally got to show Ron Delvaux the Windows 95 boot I did years and years ago.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, well, it is on video. It's on several videos, but the chalice of was it called Chalice of Bravery? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So the Chalice of Bravery, which is the mug that Jason won fair and square with my assistance.
And you're not bitter in the least.
No, not at all.
So his brother Ken made a very cool box for it, which had glass and mirrors and LED lighting, and it was on a turntable. It was just this whole thing. And I mean, it was brought in on one of those bulletproof briefcases. A guy had a handcuff wrapped around it. There was the Secret Service in there, a couple of armed guards. They brought it in. They put it in this thing, and it was on display, just slowly rotating, just saying, there's the only way to be more douchier to show off your douche mug is to put it in a 3D box with mirrors and lights. Now, if we had like smoke and fog coming out and laser lights coming out of the top of that, we could have taken it to another level. But yeah, no, but that was a really cool display.
I did think him pulling up with the bulletproof limo though was a little bit over the top.
Yeah.
If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing.
It was the armed security team that was off-putting.
But yeah, Ken made a really cool. I'm not saying it's a CoCo project, but it was. So
I guess that
I
overdoing
did
thing.
throw the-
I was going to say, I guess that overdoing thing is Schaffner's view on acting.
No, he calls it enunciating, I believe.
The Shatner comma.
I
did put the picture of Bruce and I in the Skype chat. I don't know if you have a.
Yes. Let's see. There you go. Let's make it so. Number one. How do I open it now? Damn Windows 10. Here we go. Can I zoom in on this? There we go. Bruce Moore and Jason the CoCo Man. I survived the Forest of Doom. There it is. And there's Bruce's science project display in the background there, looking really nice. So
yeah, I think it was a paper mache volcano back there somewhere.
Now,
something about the metric system.
One big shout out to Bruce too is for singing the anthems both days. He did an awesome job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so let me qualify and apologize for that. All right. So I did certain things with my phone, right? So like the opening ceremonies I did with my phone. I have a rear-facing camera pointing at stuff, but for whatever reason, my phone picks up the microphone from the front-facing camera. So as I'm singing along to the national anthem, I'm completely butchering the great job that Bruce was doing off in the background. So the microphone always heard me louder than it heard anything else, which is probably one of the reasons why Nick was complaining. And I know Tom C. one time said, "Hey, all I hear is Steve chewing his gum," as I'm walking around doing the walkthrough. All I hear is chomp, chomp, chomp. Steve's chewing on his gum. So I did not know my phone was going to do that. So, Bruce, I apologize for ruining both of your anthems. Is Bruce still with us? He fell asleep, huh? So, so to those who had to listen to that, I do apologize. All right, what else did we not talk about?
Well, the one thing I wanted to mention, Steve, was your video stream of John Strong's actual talk actually led me to actually get that case for the Matchbox CoCo because I saw it sitting on the table.
Yep. And then you texted him a PayPal payment or something, and then John came by ease of use later and said, "This is for Bill." Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, right? And we had that last year at Tandy Assembly, too. We were live streaming Tandy Assembly. Somebody who didn't know about it found the live stream and showed up. And it turns out he had a really good story because he had worked for Radio Shack and he was a manager of Radio Shack and all kinds of stuff. So it was really cool that sometimes, Mark Overholser, are you going to survive? Somebody freaking pound that guy in his back or something. Heimlich or get out the paddles or something. Clear.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. I really enjoyed meeting all you guys in person because Curtis and David I'd met before. Bruce I'd met before. Brendan.
Sounds so disappointed.
Yeah, no. I've met a handful of you, but there's a lot more that I had not met. So meeting Ron Delvaux was great. Meeting Steve Bjork was great. Coco Man and his brother was, Mark Overholser. So for all the new people who we met and Mikey. Sorry, Mikey. And
Mikey likes it anyway. Don't worry about it.
And all of the significant others that were there that tolerated this too, which was really nice to see. Thank you guys. It was great to meet you guys, all of you. And I know for me, I didn't get to spend nearly as much time with anybody, but it was just good being there. So Jim Brain, it's great to see Jim Brain again.
Not hear him, but to see him.
Richard Lorbieski, who I met for the first time at Tandy Assembly, but good to see you again. Everybody, Eric, great to see you again. Yep. Brendan Donahe, always a pleasure. That was good. So I'm looking forward to Tandy Assembly, possibly even VCF Midwest in September. If I can pull things together, I might try to do that. Ken says, I hope Greg feels better. Greg can't make it today. So can Greg make it? No, Greg could not make it today. It was great meeting Ken, too. Ron Delvaux, the star of the show. Great meeting you. Star of the trivia show.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. The trivia show. I mean, he got into the negative numbers quick, and then he pulled, massively.
He pulled that, yeah. Ron Delvaux was like a dark horse. He came back, yeah. That was great. They're asking the most obscure questions, like, "Oh yeah, everybody knows that." Yeah. Any idiot knows that. No idea what they're talking about. That was another one because I was doing it on my phone. I listened to the playback. We could not hear the people on the panel very well at all, but you could hear my dumbass talking. So it is what it is, right? So
I did come up with something this earlier yesterday, day before, about something that Bill Pierce might program is a CoCo Swiss Army knife program that would be a identifier for ID, whether it's CoCo 1, 2, or 3. It would ID whether you have a 6309, 6809. It would have a RAM calculator, tell you how much RAM you have. It would check your RAM, a ROM check for installed ROMs and versions. Check your gimme for what year.
Wow.
MPI check to see if it's been upgraded or not, and check to see for the presence of the MPI if it's there. But it would be cool to have something like that for a lot of the newbies and stuff that they can.
Yeah, because we get a lot of questions, like if you have a CoCo 1 or 2, like with print mem, do you have 32K or 64K? Right. It gets a bit technical. So
Bill Pierce might might take up the challenge of making the program.
Was there an answer to detecting a CoCo 1 or CoCo 2? I mean, the ROMs are identical.
Yeah, if you do some testing on because of the way the salt chip replacement worked, apparently, I think Darren Atkinson came up with one of them is a read write, and on the other one it's a read only. So if you try to write something to it, you'll get something back.
Gotcha. All right.
Oh, I thought it was the DAC.
Or something. Or was it the DAC? I can't remember the exact details.
It was the
but
DAC
that's hardware. I'm not a hardware guy.
There was something about how the mux or something worked that was bidirectional.
Yeah, I think you type motor on if your hair lights and melts from a soldering iron, then it's a CoCo 1 or something. I can't remember.
They can't tell with the smell of burning hair, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
Singe.
So that's
chicken. You're doing it wrong.
That's a very useful thing, and if he was to release the source code too, where somebody wants to put that into their game to detect what the hardware is too, that would be extremely helpful, I think. So, very cool
I
stuff.
suggested making it look like, when my Chrysler 200 starts up, the gauges, when they start, they flip back and forth, and then they, having all the goodies, dials. And
yeah, that would be neat. Like
Wouldn't that be cool?
Analog dashboard, right? That would be really cool.
It ain't gonna happen.
You never know. Well, if you get the source code, you can take it to another level. Nick, you've been awfully quiet.
He's probably bashing someone at the moment.
Nick, somebody want to wake up Nick?
Play the crickets.
Nick Marentes, you still
lunch.
there?
There's one way to wake him up. I could talk floppies.
Right.
That woke me up.
There you go. You've been quiet, Nick. How you doing? We haven't talked to you in a week.
Yeah, not too bad. I've been just working here in the background.
You working on Funstar?
Well, version 5 now.
Oh, cool. By the way, Nick, Mr. Floppy here, I've been working on trying to bring him into the 21st century. I gave him an old SSD I wasn't using. So Mr. Floppy is now using SSDs.
Is he
It's
really?
impressive.
Yep.
Yes, it works very nicely.
See?
Yeah, that's right.
We kept telling him, much faster.
That's right. Now you know why we were laughing at you.
Well, there's lots of reasons we do that. But
yeah, that was, just one.
Hey.
One tick off the list now.
Hey, at the fest, I'm worried about next year because I don't know how many people I scared off.
We're worried about next year.
Yeah. Hey, Nick, do you know how many people showed up to PenFest 2000 roughly?
It was 120.
Okay.
I can check my records.
So we were right on par with that this year with CoCoFest.
Yeah, we were.
What was it, 117?
Yeah, 117 or 118.
I think it might have been higher because I talked to Tony about that afterwards because he said he saw one new person on Sunday. I said, well, I saw several new people, and I talked to others, and they said the same thing. They said, well, that was just an unofficial account for Sunday.
Yeah.
The janitor was there.
Yeah. What's that?
The janitor was there.
Yeah. I would say we usually had 120.
Yeah,
now,
that's what I think.
If you counted like a Rainbow Fest, everybody that was there on Saturday and Sunday was counted as 2.
Right.
So then we had like 2 million.
You got it.
So was that counting people twice?
No.
That was
end of the day Saturday. The confirmed attendees at the end of the day Saturday was at 117.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Which is about a 50% increase from the previous year because there was like 80 people. Yeah.
Yeah, I asked Tony what was the previous year, and I said, "Wow, that's like a 50% increase. That's incredible."
Yeah.
Well, they did have a cool check-in accounting program to check you in with the CoCo.
No, that was not cool. It took forever to get choked in.
It was just basically Dynastar from what I remember.
It was a bit of a line.
Dynacalc, I should say.
Yeah.
One thing I did like, and I have to give kudos to them, is that they actually did finally get in the Visa card reader and stuff, and I actually used my Apple Pay to pay for the show, and it just bang done.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I tripled the attendance from my end because I brought my daughter and my uncle.
Oh, neat.
So you're saying the rest of us are slackers then, right?
That's right. I expect you guys to pony up next time.
Yeah.
I just brought 2 people.
If I could afford to do it, and the timing was right, I would love to bring one or more of my kids and have them just, take care of the booth or something. Child labor laws and stuff. And so,
here I thought you'd be altruistic and get them, introduced to retro gaming and stuff like Jacob, and no, you just want to man your booth.
Yeah.
Well, Stevie, family business for one. Besides that, if you get them a percentage, it's like
there you go. It's
3% is all yours.
There you go.
Sell.
Very, very cool. So have we beat this one to death?
Oh yes.
All right, so we're going to get to Jim Brain's favorite part of the show where we do the closing credits, but I do want to ask everybody to stay because this is a Marvel Avengers quality post-credit thing that's going to be coming up after the credits. All right, so I want to thank everybody in the live chat. Let me scroll back and see who we've had here. We've had a lot. We had like 22 some odd people watching us. So Eric was in the live chat. And Tom C. is in the live chat. David Ladd, Steve Bjork, Curtis Boyle, Richard Lorbieski, Brendan Donahe, Ken Can Make It, Solstice, who now we know is Salvador. And James Diffendaffer was in there. And Coco Man was in the live chat. And Jim Gary was in the live chat earlier. Neil Blanchard stopped by for a minute like a ninja, in and out. Greg was in the live chat. Greg Leighty. Was in there, and Mikey was in the live chat, and
Jim?
Mark Overholser. Jim Brain's been trolling us in the live chat for hours on end right now.
And Jim
Brain. And who else? Michael Brandt stopped by the live chat.
Retro Innovations.
And Jim Brain in the live chat. And Greg in the live chat again. Tim Franklin came by saying, sorry I'm late. Hello, Tim Franklin. And I think we got just about everybody there. Michael Brandt. There we go. Retro Innovations and Jim Brain, he says. Okay, so
Paul was on video.
Paul, yeah.
Did you remember Jim Brain?
Yeah, I think we got Jim Brain and Retro Innovations.
No, how about go to Retro Innovations?
Go the number 4 retro.com or something like that?
Yeah, and click on the return button.
Coco Troll.
And we've had a few people come and go, so we lost Mike Rowan, we lost
D. Bruce Moore.
D. Bruce Moore was here earlier. I think Paul Barton tried to come in. D. Bruce Moore says he's in chat, right? And still on the call now we have Ron Delvaux and Mikey and Jason, the Coco Man, and Steve Bjork and Eric Canales and Brendan Donahe and Nick Marentes and Bill Noble and James Diffendaffer, Richard Lorbieski, Mark Overholser, Curtis Boyle, David Ladd, and myself, Stevie Strobridge, since there's now an official Stevie Stro out there somewhere. So here we go. Closing credits, but don't go anywhere. We got a great post-credit scene for you here in about 5 minutes when this one's over.
Oh, yeah.
Can we talk or not?
You can talk. Sure.
Yeah.
Coming at you.
You're watching CoCoTALK, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color computer. For all things CoCoTALK, visit us on the web at CoCoTalk.live. We'd love to hear from you. Send feedback, suggestions, even segments via email to CoCoTalk@CoCoTalk.live. If you love the color computer like we do, then visit I'mACoconut.com for all your color computer needs. Consider supporting the show with a purchase of merchandise from our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, then visit our Patreon site at patreon.com/OGStevieStro. CoCoTALK would not exist without the community and its cast and crew. Thanks go to Curtis Boyle, David Ladd, Mark Overholser, Grant Leighty, Bruce Moore, Rick Adams, Ron Delvaux, Richard Lorbieski, Jim Brain, Nick Marentes, Karen Anscombe, Simon Jonason, Wayne Campbell, Steve Batson, Brian Joyce, John Strong, and Barry Nelson. Special thanks to Steve Bjork for production suggestions and Brian Joyce for our Best of 2017 episode. Please help support the CoCo community by visiting some of its contributors. The CoCo Crew podcast at CoCoCrew.org. Glenside Color Computer Club, host of CoCoFEST.
Can you guys hear it?
Glenside,
CCC.com.
Yep.
Okay. Jim Brain and Retro Innovations at Retro.com. Tandy Assembly at TandyAssembly.com. Cloud9 Technologies at Cloud9Tech.com. Boyson Technologies at BoysonTech.com. CoCoTALK is hosted by Steve Strobridge. Co-hosts, technical directors, segment hosts, and producers: Curtis Boyle, David Ladd, Greg Leighty, Mark Overholser, and Ron Delvaux.
How you doing?
Production motivation by Steve Bjork. Stay on target, everyone. CoCoTALK theme songs, copyright 2008 by D. Bruce Moore and Greg Shelar. Mixed, mastered, and produced by D. Bruce Moore. Dale Lear, Rick Adams, Curtis Boyle, David Ladd.
Oh, that's scary.
Greg Leighty, Mark D. Overholser, Bill Nobel, High Note, Karen Anscombe, Brendan Donahe,
Howdy.
Ron Delvaux.
How you doing?
Product placement. Shameful product placement. More product placement. Even more product placement. CoCoTALK. All right, there goes the normal credits. And so now we are almost ready for the exclusive post-credit scene. However, I just will say this. It is now midnight for me. We started this show at 9 p.m. It is now midnight. So is this a record? Have we done a... maybe some of our other After Darks went past midnight. I don't remember. But
well, we started about 20 minutes after the hour.
20 minutes after 9. True.
It's not quite 3 hours yet.
Hasn't quite been 3 hours. But the fact that we're still live on the air after midnight for a normal show, for the family-friendly show, that might be history. All right, so here we go.
It's not a 3-hour show, but it could be.
It could be. So here you go. Exclusive post-credit scenes now. Coming at you for your viewing pleasure.
Good morning. It's the last day of CoCoFEST, and we're excited to be here, even on this last day. And it's sad in a way, but it's happy in another way that we're only 365 days from
Timberman.
So glad to have met Stevie Stroh in the flesh, and hope to meet a lot more of you next time. But until then, let's have fun.
Hi, I'm David Ladd. Thank you for watching Stevie Stroh.
Good morning, CoCoLand. This is Brian Schubring with Music Men here at the CoCoFEST. Having fun, fixing issues, and making things roll, and making lots of sound. Have a great day, guys.
Start over. Let's take it from the top. This time with feeling.
What is all this?
Hi there, this is Mark Overholser, and you're watching CoCoTALK, the world's leading weekly talk show where you can join in. Hey, come watch us and see what's happening in the world of Coco. And don't miss next year's CoCoFEST.
Hey, this is Eric, and you're listening to CoCoTALK.
Hi, this is Max Jackson live from CoCoFEST, and you're listening to The Real Gamer, Stevie Stroh.
Hi, this is Rick Adams, and I'm the author of Temple of Brahm, Shanghai, and now Bomb Threat, and you're listening to Stevie Stroh on CoCoTALK.
Hi, this is Sean Wheatley, and you're listening to CoCoTALK with the original gamer, Stevie Stroh.
Hi, I'm Bruce Moore, and this is Jacob Moore, gotcha. And we are the Forest of Doom guys, and the Coco Forever guys, and we're at CoCoFEST, and we love Stevie Stroh.
Hi, this is Curtis Boyle, part of the CoCoTALK crew of people, and a lot of us are here down at the CoCoFEST, having a great time. It's the second day, and we're just about done, so you guys have to come out next year.
Hello, I'm David Ladd. Thank you for watching CoCoTALK, the world's leading live CoCoTALK show.
Something like that.
You want to do it over? You want to do it over?
That's right.
All right.
The world's leading weekly CoCoTALK show. Yeah, something like that.
All right, we're rolling. You say whatever you want to say, David.
Right, I want to go.
Drive-by.
Keep
making
yes, the bloopers.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
How about, hi, this is
the
David
last day
Ladd.
at CoCoFEST. How sad are you? You're happy, are you?
I don't know. I'm just tired.
Hey there, I'm Mark Overholser, and you're watching CoCoTALK, nation world's leading weekly handy computer.
Thank you, David Ladd.
Honor.
Get back up there 1 second.
Oh, jeez. What?
Let's get some DriveWire, TTL, ESP.
No, we don't need any DriveWire or TTL.
Hi, it's Ron Delvaux, Timberman.
232.
This is CoCoTALK.
but no crust.
Great picture. How you doing?
There's more. Lorbieski.
Yeah!
I'm looking a bit haggard there.
He cleans up nicely. That works.
Larry.
What are you still doing here? It's over.
Kind of forgot the one line. Go home.
Why am
Did you see Jim's comment in the chat too?
Oh, okay. Stevie looks like such a lamer with his thumbs up, or
that one after that.
My toilet makes better music. Music. Oh man, so that was awesome. So yeah, I had a great weekend. I know we all did too. Yes.
Yeah, someday I'll have to get a robe.
All right, so thank you all for watching. Thank you guys for being here. We are going to end the live stream now in 3, 2, 1, and maybe another After Dark tomorrow night. You never know.
You never know.
Bye-bye, everybody.